Sweet.
Man, I apologize about last week.
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
It was just a weird, I don't know.
Some bullshit going on.
Yeah, some bullshit. Everything good on your side with the house cleaning?
Yeah, I got it clean. That was good. Totally over prepared. Didn't need to do all that. No one even came, but
yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it happens,
But what do you do? Any cool new developments in the work worth mentioning, or has it just been kind of steady?
Yeah, just kind of steady. I've been working some security cases. I'm gonna start working some security cases, which basically just means like I'll stake out like a property and just make sure no one tries to break in for like however long.
That's kind of interesting in itself, though. So does that mean like is it like a high value property type of situation where there's?
Yeah, usually it's like a big complex, like a new development. So like something that's still being built. A lot of times, like people will break in there.
Interesting.
And
spooky. Yeah, Salty. I ordered the ones that you sent me, the LED strips. I didn't realize how much was in one thing, so I had like 64 feet of it. So we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, I probably mentioned it last time that I've got a thing for red lights. I know I told you. I can't remember if I said it live, but
there's something.
I don't know. It creates like a certain ambiance.
Yeah.
It's just like unique. You know what I mean?
Well, I think too that like I like how the red will play off the dark of a room.
Yeah.
So like when it catches like something that it will like almost like shine off of.
Yeah.
It just leaves a cool. And my forehead.
Yeah, no, the reflections are cool. It's the most calming light you can have for sleep. Yeah, I have like one red lamp in my apartment. That's the only light I use. And I just all the time, all day and night, it just stays on. And like, yeah, I sleep so well with that thing. It really is the best.
Yeah, Bieber, if you have more lights that you're willing to toss over, we'll definitely use them. You can never have too much lighting. So,
nope, never.
I mean, lighting is kind of fucking. I hate the lighting normally in this room.
Yeah, I can't. I already can't remember what it is. Is it like a yellow or is it like
a weird off-white?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like
damn.
It really. If you're sitting at the wrong angle, like your skin looks like. No, weird. I've been trying to fix it, but.
Have you heard of Philips Hue?
They're
really expensive. They're like $80 for like 3 of them, and they're just these little light bulbs, and you can just like you can put them in different parts of the house, and you can change like each one like what color.
Oh, really?
Or you can have it set to like dim, so it like goes really low, like if you're watching a movie or something.
Is that the one that is controlled by the phone app?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw it at Best Buy or something like that.
Yeah. I think I told a story about that on here. No, I didn't. I told it on my Facebook. I had a Philips Hue light, and I had some girl lose her shit and just smash the light and walk out. And I was just like, "That's an $80 light bulb." No, I mean, nothing even happened. I'll just tell the story. So I was hanging out with 2 of my friends, and they brought this one girl who I think I might have met her like once or twice before, and this was probably like 4 years ago. And so we were all just hanging out, and 2 of them, the 2 people I knew well, were like, "Hey, we're gonna go get some food. Do you guys want to go?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll just stay here." And the other girl was like, she was just kind of being like a little weird all night, So she's like, just kind of like shook her head, and they're like, "All right." So they went out, and she just started having a breakdown. Like, I'm just sitting there on my phone, and she just starts like crying and freaking out, and I'm just like.
Like, was she venting to you, or just
out of nowhere? And she was talking on the phone earlier in the other room, so I'm thinking maybe it had something to do with that. And so I just sit up and I just turn on my PC, and I'm just like, I don't know how to handle situations like that.
Right.
So I turn it up, I can't remember what game I was playing, but I think it was Mortal Kombat. But and I started loading it up, and she's just freaking out, and I was like, "You need some water or something?" And she's just like, just ignores me. I was like, "All right." And then, what did I say? I said something like, "All right, well, I'll be over here, when you're done doing that." Or, no, I'm trying to think of my exact words. I was like, Yeah, I'll just be chilling over here. Like, let me know when you're done with that. And she lost her mind, man. She's like, you fucking asshole. Like, can you at least act like you give a damn? And I was just like,
what do you mean?
and yeah, she just slaps my light bulb and just like walks out the door. Like, well, not my light bulb, my lamp. But
Yeah.
it fell over and the bulb shattered. And I was like, that's $80 right there. And then my two other friends get back and they're like, where'd she go? I'm like, I don't know, man. She had a freak out and just I told her to let me know when she's done, and they're like, that's not, you can't say it like that. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
What
her.
do you mean?
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I think you handled that better than most people would have.
Yeah.
I've been like, why the fuck are you doing this right now in my house?
Yeah, for real. I was just like, and I don't know if she expected me to go over there and be like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? Like, that's just not me. And I was just like, and if she was, then you shouldn't go into someone's house, have a breakdown, and expect them to.
No. I mean, if it's someone I don't know and they come into my house, friends of friends, I probably would look at them and be like, can you take that shit outside? Like,
yeah, for real.
Go
like,
talk outside. Do your thing somewhere else.
Straight up, dude. It's ridiculous. I was just pissed about my light, man. That was so expensive.
Yeah, that is shitty. I would have found her and made her pay for it.
I know. I was going to say, I kind of wanted to just text her and be like, hey, you owe me a light. But
light, you fucked up.
She blocked me, so. Yeah.
Happens.
Whatever.
Speaking of blocking, so was your Facebook open, or did you end up getting...
Yeah, no, it's good to go. It was weird earlier. It said... It didn't even tell me which one. It just said... it was like, your post goes against our standards, and I was like... But it wouldn't show me which post. And it just wouldn't let me get past that screen. That was like the only thing it would show. And I was like, what the hell? And I think my phone just might have been glitching out or something. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I just went back in and it's gone. I don't even know which post. I haven't posted anything too controversial lately, so I don't know what they were talking about. But
I had one do that the other day, too, though. Like, I was looking at notifications, whatever, and I saw one where it said, we've removed this post because it violates whatever, and it was spam. And I'm like, interesting. So I clicked on it, but it wouldn't show me which post got blocked. Or removed?
Really? Yeah, that's what it did. It wouldn't show me which one it was. And I was like...
So I don't know if, I don't know, maybe, there was an article that went around that everyone was sharing and it got blocked? I don't know.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's weird.
I was kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for real. Oh, man. Let's see.
So should we get frustrated about SpongeBob being gay?
Yeah, dude. What's up with that? Why do people care?
I have no idea.
This is the same thing that I saw happen with the Little Mermaid thing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Nope.
I didn't see anyone actually care. At least, I mean, I didn't. Maybe some other people did. But I didn't see anyone actually be like, I have a problem with the race of Little Mermaid.
Of a fictional mermaid.
The only thing I saw was people being like, how can people think that? Like, it's so, how it's like, it's...
I never saw the argument for it.
Yeah, it's just one-sided argument. And it's the same thing. People are like, you have a problem with SpongeBob being gay? It's like, I don't see anyone having a problem with it, man. Yeah, maybe some old ladies on Twitter or something.
Right.
But,
a couple Karens are upset.
Yeah, for real. But, it's just...
I mean, what is... I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of why I would argue it.
I know.
Is it because, people feel like they're getting pressured into people being... I don't get it.
I don't either, man. I mean...
what's the...
I could not give a shit about anything to do with it.
He's a sponge.
Yeah, for real. And he's not even a real sponge at that. Yeah, it's just
I mean... I don't know. I don't see the problem.
I don't either. But
aren't we supposed to be making people more comfortable with shit like this anyways?
For real. But, I read somewhere that they didn't actually... I mean, I didn't care enough to, actually look into it. The light can go behind the camera. Oh. That's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, I read somewhere that they didn't actually say he was gay. They just, alluded to it or something. Or, they said... They didn't say, that specifically. So I don't really know. I'd have to look more into it. But...
Yeah.
I do think a lot of companies and corporations will, around the month of June, they're like, yeah, everyone in our company is gay. We're all very gay. Please give us more money and support us more.
No, I agree with that.
Pandering, and that's what I hate. That's what I can't stand. Same with like in a movie where they're trying so hard to push something.
Like a narrative.
Yeah, like a narrative or some kind of agenda, and it's just like, it just feels like forced and like, and you could just tell they're doing it just so people will be like, oh wow, you're so supportive and you're so
I think we're starting to see more though of people realizing that and like not being okay with that, because like I think it was 2 years ago or something like that
yes
yes
precisely.
Like Oreo came out with like a rainbow version for Pride Month.
Really? I think I might have remembered about
and different things like that. Like, I'm totally cool if a corporation wants to make a stand. Like, if
for
they're
sure.
publicly like, yeah, we accept.
Or even if
everybody.
Their spokesman comes out, or whatever, and is like, hey, we just wanted to let you guys know that. Whatever. That's totally cool. Like,
but we actually were just talking about this on the podcast I just got done with. Are you familiar with John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer?
Oh yeah.
So like, the idea of him making money off of his paintings while he was in prison is kind of a weird line to cross. But then, what do you think? Like, let's say I make a John Wayne Gacy T-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to sell it and make money for myself. I feel like there's a fine line between like, okay, am I trying to profit off of a horrible situation?
Serial killings, or
right?
Okay, I'm picking
kind of
up
how
what
like
you're putting
companies
down.
do that with like Pride. Like, do they really care, or are they just doing this because they know people are gonna buy into it and make money?
That's the thing, yeah, and it's hard to tell. I mean, I feel like some of them might be a little bit more sincere than others, but I can almost guarantee the vast majority don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and like, I'd honestly rather them just be honest and be like, we're just a company, man. We don't give a fuck about it.
Try to make money.
Yeah, we're just trying to make money here. Like, we're not into politics. Like, I'd respect that,
Yeah, or even if they came out and were like, hey, yeah, we're going to make... And Oreo may have done this. I don't want to misquote anything, but if they came out and said, hey, yeah, everyone that we sell, all the money goes to this organization that's in support of it.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
cool with
yeah,
that.
something like that. That's totally cool. Yeah.
But if it's just like the pats and pockets,
Yeah, and people do that. Like, just individuals do that. There's this one guy who was on my Facebook. I think he actually deleted me. I think we got into an argument, and I've never liked him. But he'd do that. Like, I'd see him do that, and I'm like, and all these girls would comment and be like, "Oh my God, you get it," and like, it's like, bro, do you really believe that, or are you just kissing ass?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Simp.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been doing that since before I even knew what that word meant. I had to look that word up, like.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, what was that?
That's a new one that's kind of out there. I just think it's funny because
I see it though.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I
all
see
the time.
it. Like I know. Like now that I know the name for it, like
it's kind of gross too when it gets into like people trying to get girls or guys, and they're like white knighting to a point of like simping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. It's just like, man.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse if someone tries to tell you everything you want to hear to try and like get laid or something.
Oh yeah,
like just be straight up.
Yeah,
like,
for real. I mean, that's like.
That's worse. That makes it way worse.
But I mean, a lot of the times, I feel like people should be able to see through that shit.
I would hope so.
Like I'll see guys do that, and I'm like, you're not fooling me.
Right.
I see what you're trying to do here. Yeah.
I bet it works though. I think that's the problem.
No, I'm sure it does.
It happens.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Don't sleep with simps, people.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. You're fueling them. You're enabling them.
Don't be a simp enabler.
Yeah, for real. Oh man.
People are wild though.
Straight up.
So let's see.
And J.K. Rowling is the queen of that though.
Yeah, where
pandering.
She was like, "Oh, yeah. By the way, Dumbledore's been gay the whole time."
Yeah, it's like,
was he?
Was he though? I don't know. She said it with a few other characters too, and I'm just like, I don't see it. I feel like if you said that like not too long after the book came out,
yeah,
for
sure.
Or maybe in an interview, like a few months after it came out or something, you could be like, oh, it was actually meant to be like, but like a decade later, more. Right. I can't remember when that came out, but it just long later, and be like, oh yeah, everyone's gay.
And then time it with the release of movies where there is a gay relationship.
Like, yep, exactly.
It's like, smart business plan or trying to be cool? I don't know.
Yeah. It's always sunny when they cross the fence. A life versus choice rally to similar.
No, true.
Oh,
true.
Man, I remember that.
So I gotta ask.
What's up?
Let's see. Which post was it on your thing? You were accused of being a gang leader, manipulating students. Like, what?
Oh, man.
What's the story of that? Because I saw that and I'm like, this is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast material.
So when I was in junior high, I had just a little, a group of friends that would always hang out with each other. And, there's always some kids that would try to kind of tag along, but like,
yeah, of course.
They like, it wasn't like we'd be like, get out of here. They just kind of, we'd just be like, all right, whatever. We're just the lingerers, you know what I mean?
Right,
they weren't we weren't really friends with, but they were just kind of there. They just existed, And there's these two kids in particular. I can't remember what their names were, but so there used to be this outside when we were at lunch. There was this door at the bottom of this hill with this really mean teacher inside, and like she would just, she'd just freak out at people being too loud at the door, by the doors, and just So I started telling these two kids, I'm like, hey, like you can really be like one of us if you just go up there and just kick that door as hard as you can. And yeah, they did it, and like, and then one of them got in trouble and was like, he told on me, and he was like, hey, he made me do this, and then I went down there and I was like, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. That's horrible. Why would I do such a thing?
Why is he blaming
He's
me?
Trying to blame me. I'm not the one who kicked the door. And there's cameras too. And I was like, look at the cameras. It shows him doing it. Because I knew there were cameras there, so I positioned myself far enough away that they couldn't see me be like,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we all kind of we were we'd all joke about that type of stuff, and one of my friends was like, who's our leader? I was like, that's me. Just kind of like joking around, but then
right, of course.
But then they were just kind of like, yeah, So, and we just kind of had that thing for a while. It wasn't anything like serious. Like we didn't do anything.
No.
But, and then at one point we were walking down the main street in the city I grew up in, and I was with two of my friends, and we walked behind. We saw someone that we didn't want to see us to, try to hang out with us. So we were like,
right.
We're gonna go behind this, alleyway right here. So we go behind this movie theater, and there's all this graffiti on the wall and stuff, and we just keep walking, and this cop pulls up right behind us, and he's like, what are you guys doing? Is this you who's doing this graffiti? And we were like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're just passing along here. And he was like, yeah, I've heard about this gang that people are, painting the name of on places and stuff. And he's like, yeah, and I heard there's this, this guy named Dax and these other two guys. And I was like, what the hell is like going on here? So I was like really tripping out at that point. I was like, and he asked for my name, and like I told him, and he didn't really I guess he didn't make the connection between that, and so he just let us go. He's like, yeah, if you see anyone graffitiing or doing anything a part of that, just tell them to stop. I was like, let us know, and I was like, all right, and that was pretty much it. But like, I don't know who was doing that. Like, I don't know how the police somehow got my name. Like, I don't know, because the most I ever did was make those kids kick that door.
Right.
That was it. Like,
which in reality isn't like fucking.
I mean, it's kind of a dickhead move, but it's not that big of a deal.
No.
It's just stuff.
Bad on them for getting pressured so easily.
Yeah, it's just stuff that 14-year-olds do.
Yeah,
no
shit.
But
I have a funny story that's kind of related to that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I had a buddy in junior high, who really enjoyed tagging. you know,
spray painting.
Yeah, but he didn't do he wouldn't go spray paint buildings. He would get markers and do it on people's binders and shit.
Okay.
And he was actually really talented. I still have it at my house, one that he drew. When I was growing up, I liked rap music.
Yeah.
Which, you know, a lot of people laugh at. They say
a lot of people do growing up.
Yeah.
I like some of it growing up too.
So at the time, T.I. was really popular. And
oh man, I forgot about T.I.
Yeah, he dropped an album. I can't remember. It was called King or something like that, along those lines. So my buddy took it and he did this fucking sick ass tag that said King, showing the out. He's like, oh yeah, you like that album? I'll do this on there. And he ended up doing the King thing on a bunch of different binders because it actually I don't remember if it's actually good or not. Yeah. But during the time, it was really good.
Yeah.
And I get called down to the principal's office, and he's all like, let me see your binders. I had I was carrying binders and something. Okay. So I hand them to him. He's like, what's this? And he's pointing at it. I'm like, oh, one of my buddies just drew it. And he looks at me. He's like, are you part of the Latin Kings?
Oh, shit.
The fucking,
the
legit
mega gang?
Yeah. And I look at him. I don't even know what it is. I have I've never heard of it. And I'm like, no. And he's like, this is Latin King gang related. And I'm like, no, it's not. My buddy, who, for the record, isn't Latin, first of all, drew this because of an album that I like.
Yeah.
And he was dead set that there was a Latin King gang brewing in his junior high.
I have an even closer story to this one after you've done that.
And basically what he ended up saying is if you bring this back to school or whatever, we're going to suspend you.
Really?
And that was the end of it. None of us were in the Latin Kings.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure you can't join the Latin Kings until you're...
Well, I mean...
I don't know. Maybe... I think you have to be Latin, I'm pretty sure.
When I was legit in 7th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess... I don't know. I guess looking back, that does happen, right? They try and get kids in at early ages, but...
I guess. I don't even know if they exist in Utah.
I never heard them until that day.
I mean, I've heard of them, but I don't think I mean, not in Utah. I'm surprised the dude even knew. Yeah. Who got you in trouble. The principal, vice principal, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me of another story. Also, when I was in junior high, I was hanging out with this one kid, and he was a huge Insane Clown Posse fan. Right? I had never heard of them. I had no idea who they were.
Right.
And he was like, "All right, check out this logo." And he drew this ICP logo, and I thought it was cool. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna try that. So I try it, and mine looked horrible, of course. And then I just didn't think, and it was just with chalk outside on the pavement, at lunch or whatever. Yeah. And the next day, I get called to the principal's office, and they're like, "So you are in a gang?" And this was after they've already accused me of being, and I got suspended before for being in making those kids do that or whatever.
Right.
So they're like, "So you are in a gang?" And I was like, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And they're like, "Oh, you're not pulling that on us this time. We know what you're doing." And I was like, I legitimately have no idea what's going on. They're like, Insane Clown Posse is a gang, which is incorrect. I mean, I know Juggalos sometimes they consider them
like a gang.
And I'm sure they do kind of gang type stuff. I don't even know, but I didn't even know any of that. I didn't know they were a band. I didn't know anything about it. And they were just they're registered as a gang, and I was like, I don't even know what they are. I thought it was just a symbol, man.
Right.
And they suspended me for a week.
Oh my god.
Which I was fine with. Yeah. I was like, oh hell yeah. I always thought that was a dumb punishment.
Yeah. To give me the thing that I want.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. What? And at that point, I was like, I don't care about assignments, so that's not
right. I'm curious because you're someone who is able to talking to you in Facebook posts, you're very good at articulating your thoughts and different things like that. Did you do well in school, or was it one of those things where you felt like you were so far ahead of school that it was a waste?
Yeah, I felt like and this is going to sound super arrogant, but I always felt like I was like, I know this.
Right.
You know, this is and I did horrible. Like, I didn't do any assignments. I knew I should have cared, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and so, because I was just like, I know this. Like, why am I wasting my time with these assignments when I know it?
Right.
So I'd go to the teachers and I'd be like, can you just give me the test, like the final test for this whole thing? I'd be like, give me like a study guide and like 45 minutes, and then give me a test.
Right.
And they were just like, no, you know, you got to do what everyone else does because it's all based off of like percentages, you know.
Right.
So I'd get like 100%, you know, I'd say 85 to 100% on most of the tests except for math, but then I'd still fail because I didn't do the assignments.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, some subjects I was okay with, I was better with. Like I cared a little bit more, like, you know, history and English I did pretty all right at.
That's what I did get into as well.
Yeah, but no, I did horrible in junior high and high school. I mean, there was one time in junior high in 8th grade I got all Fs and all Us for a whole semester.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Did you go to junior high around here?
I went to Kaysville.
Oh, Kaysville?
Yeah.
No. I was at South Davis.
Oh, really? No.
South Davis is whatever.
Kaysville was terrible.
No.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt, though, in school, too, for a little bit, but my parents were very, and I don't blame them, like, this is whatever, but they were very, like, get good grades or we're gonna fucking have you, you know, we'll take everything away that you want.
Really?
Yeah, so I kind of pushed for that.
I mean, mine never threatened me or anything. Like, they you know, it was mostly just my mom, like, you know, she was the one that dealt with most of that stuff with me, and she was, you know, you could tell it was like stressing her out that I just didn't give a damn about any of it, you know, but I mean, she never like tried to like punish me, which I mean, I think might have just made it worse. I don't know, you know, but you know, she'd always be like, and she was right, you know, she's like, you know, this is your future, like, you gotta care, like, you know, and I was just like. And it's weird because at one point I knew I had to care.
Right.
Like, I was like, I know I have to. And I was like, okay, well, when I get into high school, then I'll care. Because then it counts. I get into high school and I'm like, well,
here we are.
I graduated, though, so I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping no one saw my finger. It's because I'm a fucking idiot. That's what happened.
Oh, man, someone noticed.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's not bleeding through. Dax has a butterfly knife, and the funny part is like, I have a lot of butterfly knives, and I fuck around with them all day, and I'm like, yo, can I see that? And I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is the right side, and I flip it, and it just legit cuts my finger, and I'm like, I try to play it off like it didn't, and then I look down, and I'm like,
I kind of thought you might have for a second, because like, I saw you lift it back up, and you were using this handle, and I was like, wait a minute. Did you just? Yeah. And you're just like.
It didn't really hurt, and I honestly didn't feel much of it. And then I looked down, I'm like, I'm dripping onto my pants.
It's because it's so sharp. They say if you're like playing with one of these, it's better to have it like really, really sharp.
Right.
Because then it'll cut like cleaner.
Yeah.
And it'll heal faster.
Yeah.
But if it's. Yeah.
It was just bleeding all over the place, like on my pants and shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just, I'll take the L on this one.
Oh, man. Yeah, I should have warned you. I was like, bro, this thing. Usually when I hand it to people, that thing is really, really sharp.
Well, I should have just looked at what I was doing is the problem.
Yeah, you did just kind of like.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What's your opinion on the homework and school stuff, too, since we're talking about that? Because I really think that most jobs, even in higher education jobs, you don't take home your work.
No.
Like,
I mean,
some jobs, yeah, sure, like, but
I think homework as a whole is completely pointless.
Right.
You know, I think it should be optional. Like, I think some people learn better if they take stuff home and like write stuff down and like, and you know, they say that's like the idea behind it is if you write stuff, it helps you learn and like, you know, you're reading and writing at the same time. You're completing, repetition. And they say it helps you with your what's the word, like finishing a goal.
Yeah.
So they say that helps you more in life, but
gives you the achievement.
I think they should abolish it unless a certain student is like, I need this to like get it.
I think it should be optional. Like
I think it should be too, and I think they need to abolish the percentage system. That is so stupid, because you could do. I mean, I think tests should have the majority of the grade, because like if you, I mean, I feel like if you understand it completely, and you can prove that, then the rest shouldn't matter.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't be like, oh, well, you didn't do all of your packets, so, you know, I'm sorry you failed. I know you got, 100% on your test, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's like,
no.
The whole point is for them to teach you things, and if they teach you things and you understand it, and you can prove that you understand it, then why the homework? Why does that matter?
Right, and it's not the reality in life outside of high school, because if
No.
I go to work, right, and I do everything that I'm supposed to at work, then I can maintain a job.
Yeah,
but there's nothing
real.
that I take home that I have to focus on either.
No, I mean, the only thing I have to take home is, like, I guess when I'm done with the case, I'll, like, write the reports.
Sure.
Like, upload the pictures and stuff. But, I mean, it's
what
not
I'm trying
really
to think
homework.
of, like,
that's
jobs that would be, like, I guess if you're working on, like, a big, like, bridge project and you don't feel like you can work, like, I mean, is overtime work homework? I mean,
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I've never had any homework at a job.
No, I've never been told like, "Hey, take this home."
And if you don't complete it, you're fired.
Yeah,
no,
that doesn't exist.
No, and it's just I think I think the whole education system needs to be reformed.
Oh yeah, I think we're at the point now too where you can do away with university and create new specific type of like areas where you can just go get the certificate you want.
Yes. Oh man, I don't think you've heard me go on my college rant. Oh man.
Now let's start it, because I think college is fucking broken.
I think it's a scam, bro. It's the greatest scam of this generation. It's like, I mean, I think it has its purpose. Like, if you want to do something very specific, like doctor, lawyer, like electrician, or no, that's a trade. But like, something that is very specific that you need that stuff to learn, then I get it. But it's way too expensive, like ridiculously expensive, and it doesn't guarantee you a job. Right. I can't tell you how many people I know that have like a master's in biology, and they work at like a gas station, or like, oh, I'm a real estate agent now. It's like, which is fine, but it's just like that doesn't have anything to do with. And I feel like a lot of people just go to college just to say I have a degree or to make their parents happy. Yeah. And it's like, that is, if you go to college for that reason, then you don't stupid. Know yourself. Yeah. You're just exactly like you're an adult and you're just going to college because you don't want your parents to be mad at you or whatever, and you end up getting a job that has nothing to do with your degree. It's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like you said, I think they should have specific places for specific jobs. And I think generals are pointless. Yeah.
Well, because, like, what sense does it make? Like, let's say I wanted to be a civil engineer. Why do I have to go take courses that have nothing to do with me being a civil engineer just because that's how it's structured? Yeah. Like, why do I have to take English courses to be a civil engineer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean, like, by the generals. Like, they're pointless. They make no sense.
Like, I get, like... I kind of understand why they make you do it, right? Because it's supposed to make you a more well-rounded individual. But if I don't give a fuck about a subject, I'm not going to gain anything from the class. You know how many English classes I've taken that were just that I didn't take anything away besides like maybe the class was enjoyable?
Yeah, I always liked the literature.
Yeah.
For some reason, I've always been like a weird fan of literature. But yeah, no, it's like same. Like I exit the class and I can honestly say this: I have learned more from I probably learned more in 2 years, and this is gonna sound arrogant again, but whatever. I probably learned more in like a year or two just reading stuff on my own and like looking into stuff than I learned my entire school career.
Right. Oh, like, yeah, easy.
I think math up to everything past 4th grade is useless. Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to what we're saying is like, okay, if you want to become an engineer where you need specific math, then there should just be a school that's dedicated to engineering and teaching it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
that should be part of it, not
right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And when I was in school, people would always be like, they'd be like, the teachers and the counselors are going to be like, oh, well, you probably haven't thought about what you're going to do after school yet. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be a private investigator. Like, I always said that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you have to get a criminal justice. You have to get a criminal justice degree, at least a master's. And I'm like, and I knew for a fact that wasn't true.
Right.
And, like, I've even talked to, like, other investigators, and stuff, and they're like, I don't know how that would help you. Like, I don't know what. I think it'd be better to be, like, if you had previous maybe military or law enforcement or security or some background, like, actual experience.
Right.
But, like if you were a detective before, that you'd be good. But, like, I don't know what I could learn in a criminal justice degree that would help me at all. Like, at all. Like, I can't think of one thing.
Well, and, like, the only thing I could see is, like, laws, but you could literally just Google laws.
Yeah, and, they, they'll, like, teach me those and
right.
stuff, and, like, a lot of those, you learn and you get taught and stuff, like, on the job. But, yeah, I guess that's true, but, yeah, you don't really need to, can you imagine paying that much money just to learn laws that you can learn online?
Right.
It's like, and that's the thing about the internet, and that's why I think eventually college might not be as much of a thing, because you can learn everything you can learn in college online for free.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Or, like, even if, like, I can't remember what this kid's name is, but he's doing this, I can't remember, some social media, maybe it was Reddit, but basically he is going through and buying textbooks that are like, the $100 textbooks and shit in college.
Yeah.
And learning everything out of them to prove the fact that you don't have to go to college to get a college education.
That's true. Because
Like,
a lot of times, don't they just, like, get up there and they're like, all right, class, and, like, they'll turn your book to this page, and then they'll just go 100%. Through it like that?
I've had pretty much my whole associate's degree.
Really?
And, like, it's a paperweight.
Damn.
It doesn't mean anything. An associate's degree in 2020 is useless because
now,
what
can it do?
Nothing.
Really?
They're like, hey, you retained information from high school. Good job, bud. That's honestly all it is. Like, that is legit all it is. It's like a $11,000 fucking paperweight.
Damn.
Like, what's the point?
I mean, and they say, like, it helps your chances of getting a job. Like, I don't know if that's...
No.
I don't know.
You're still going to get picked, or you're still going to get picked after the guy who has more experience in the field, whether he has a degree or not.
Oh, that's for sure. If you manage somehow to get experience in the field you're going into without any sort of degree, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like, that's the ideal, because if you're like, yeah, I have 10 years of experience, and this guy's like, oh, well, I have a PhD. It's like, well, how much experience do you have? He's like, I don't have any.
This would be my first job.
I just barely got out of college. They're gonna be
fucking
like,
laugh at you.
This dude.
Yeah,
the dude
like,
with
yeah, come back when you get experience.
With the experience, exactly.
I just like it too, though, that we're at a point in time in just humanity where, like, you can make a fuck ton of money without.
Oh yeah, I mean, the internet. There's so many ways.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
What's stopping you from just walking into college class and learning it without paying for a degree?
No.
I mean, nothing.
No,
but at the same time, it would be kind of a waste of time because you could just learn it online and not have to go anywhere.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of kids who record their classes, like, so they can listen to it later.
Yeah.
And they upload them.
Really?
Yeah. I watched some Harvard University give a lecture about, I don't know, ethics or something like that, because I just thought it was interesting. Yeah. It was like this whole entire, like, 2-hour class of this teacher giving this huge spiel about his philosophy on ethics. And, like, to attend Harvard, you're talking, like, if it's not scholarship, like $13,000 a semester. And the kid just uploaded it because he's like, yeah, this was cool. So, like,
everyone else is paying money for it.
Yeah.
He's just like, here, you guys go.
I listened to the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, this guy has good points for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
It's even better that it's free for you. It's like,
I was like, fuck, So, like, what's stopping, like, shit from that? Like,
for real.
I think that's why trade schools are the shit and why they're so popular now.
I agree. I've got, I think trade schools should be the future, because you're going for a very specific thing.
Well, and what's stopping, like, a trade school being there for, like, a business or an accountant or whatever it is you want to fucking do? Like,
yeah, why not?
Why can't I just go to, like, why can't there just be a business school where I skip my fucking the associate stuff, and I just go directly into what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't see why they don't.
No.
Why does trade school have to be welding, composites,
electrical,
pharmacy tech? Like, why does it have to be that stuff? Like, why can't it be anything?
Yeah.
Why can't... some of them I agree that you do have to learn a lot. Like, if you're going to be a doctor, like, I don't want some guy who's just like, yeah, I watched some videos online.
Yeah, for sure.
Before he, like, cuts you open, he's like, I got this. Like,
No, yeah, definitely in case, like, specific things need schooling. But even that goes with, like, let's say if there's a specific business college, right? Maybe it still takes 2 years to get through it, but it's all business related.
Just strictly that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, because if you want to go get your journeyman license at DATC, which is our local applied technical school, like, it still takes, like, 8 months to, like, a year and a half.
Damn.
But you can work there, or excuse me, you can attend school and they'll give you discounts and get you a job day one working in electrical. You just don't technically have the journeyman title, but once you get it, it legit just gives you a pay raise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like I have a bunch of buddies who did welding and
I heard welders make pretty good money.
Yeah, I have a friend, I'll shout him out, his name's Thomas. He started welding when he was in high school, right out of high school. He was doing some underwater welding on a ship in Wisconsin.
I heard that's one of the most dangerous jobs. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know either. He was making like $30 or $40 an hour, like at 19 or 20.
Whew.
Like,
wild.
So he was just raking in the money, and
that's pretty solid.
Now he owns his own business doing shit. So like,
man,
I think they need to really tell kids the reality, right? College isn't for everybody.
It's not, and they push that so hard, man. Like, they really push that. No matter who you talk to when you're in high school, they'll be like, any of the people who work there, the employees, the staff, they'll all be like, oh, you should, we're preparing you for the ACT.
Yeah.
We're preparing for college. Have you looked at colleges? And it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not.
I knew when I was probably in like 6th grade, I was like, the minute I'm done with 12th grade, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to graduate.
No.
Not until I went to Mountain. That was much better. Much better. They didn't have any homework. Lots smaller classes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more like direct. Like, this is what we're going to... this is what we're learning. They like go through like everything, and then they'll be like, okay, and we're gonna give you a test on this day. We're gonna learn everything up to this point. I don't know. It was a lot better, and I got went through that no problem. Like,
well, I kind of wish too that they would have explained that I could have taken the GED whenever I wanted, and that's the equivalent of a high school diploma. Because if kids knew they could take their GED in like 10th or 11th grade and could study for it, and just be done with high school.
Can you take it in 10th or 11th grade?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Don't quote me on that, but I don't think there's an age requirement.
I gotta Google it. I'm curious now.
Because
if that was true, I wish I would have done that, man.
Yeah, because if you could have just stepped out, I could be completely wrong, but...
How old do you have to be to take your GED?
18 years old.
18 years in Utah.
GED.com. You must be 18 years old to test.
If you're formally withdrawn from the public secondary system and have completed K through 12, you completed the K through 12 withdrawal and GED application for 16 to 18-year-old non-graduate form. What the hell? So if you complete a form and you're officially withdrawn, like you officially pull yourself out of or drop out of high school, then you can take it. But that's cool.
And I guess that's a hard pitch to your parents unless you're in a situation where you...
No, yeah. I imagine most parents are like, hell no, you're going to finish school.
Right.
Honestly, I think if I had a kid, I can't picture myself being that, because I still don't really care about school. So I feel like I'd just be like, no, man, just get through.
Well, I think it's case by case too, right? Because like if you know your kid is
the academic type, then you want him to.
But if you know like the reality, like I think that's where a lot of this falls under the thing. And like we're both speaking from not having kids.
True.
But like
true.
you would think if you wanted to be the best parent you could be, you are well aware if your kid's an academic or not.
Yeah.
Pushing them
For
harder
sure.
in school is going to make them want to not do it more.
Yeah. No,
You know?
I agree. And that was the thing with me. The more people tried to make me tell me how important it was, the less I cared. I was just like, bro, I don't care. Like, it's just, But, like, yeah, I mean, if I had a kid and he was, totally the academic type and he was like, yeah, he was speaking French in, like, third grade. So I'd be like, yeah, man, go to Harvard. Like,
yeah, do
props
it,
to you,
sure.
whatever. I'll help you, whatever you need. But, like, if my kid was like, Dad, I really don't care about anyone here or any of this, I'd be like...
Well, if my kid came to me and said exactly how I felt in high school, like, because I was the same boat, like, a lot of the shit in high school I just did because they told me to, but it was so trivial and so easy to me.
Yeah, it really was, yeah.
If my kid came to me and he's like, dude, I feel like I'm leaps and bounds ahead of the shit they're teaching me, I'd be like, well, fuck it, let's just get you in college really then, fuck it. Like,
yeah, for real. It's
like, you can start taking college classes in high school, but you could legit, like, I had a buddy who, I'm really proud of him. He's a great kid. He had his associates like going into senior year.
Really?
Like he was leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. And like you can do that, but
No,
they
you
don't
can't.
tell you shit like that.
No, they want you to
You
go
know?
through the way everyone else
Yeah.
does it. Yeah.
Just stupid.
Oh, for real.
So I was going through the Facebook and I saw one that we can just flip a whole 90-degree into a whole other shit. So
Yeah. All right.
Utah passes new abortion rules.
Oh boy.
Could mean felony charges for doctors and women.
Whew.
I mean, because we're here.
Yeah.
We might
Let's
as
do
well.
it. Let's do it.
Why are we dictating what women do with their bodies in 2020?
That's the real question, man. I've never understood that. I've always been very pro-choice. I'm just like I don't. The one thing I don't agree with is when people say you can't have an opinion on this. Because I'm like, everyone is entitled to an opinion.
Yes.
But I don't think men should be making these laws,
No, and I also think that...
I don't think it should be male lawmakers dealing with this type of stuff.
Right. I think that it should be a conversation that's had with both the male and female partner if it's like...
Yeah.
I think that the woman should listen to the man in a man's opinion.
Yeah,
Because if, like, for example, if I were to get a girl pregnant and I wanted to raise the kid and she didn't, I feel like if I were like, hey, I'll raise the kid, you don't have to be involved, it's still her decision, but I think that opinion should still be heard.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure. Personally, if my girlfriend, and I don't, she's very pro-choice too, but I don't know if she personally would have an abortion.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. Like, she's like, I'm very pro-choice, but I don't know if personally I could do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I've heard a lot. Like, a lot of people have that. Which I get, but I think if she did, hypothetical, she got pregnant and she was like, I want an abortion, I'd be like, all right, man, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
If she's like, I want to give it up for adoption, I'd be like, all right, man, whatever you want to do. The only thing I think that a lot of people don't agree with me on this, I think if, you get someone pregnant and they're like, I'm keeping this, and you're like, I am not financially ready for this. I feel like you should be able to sign away your rights. With no, I think if, they can have all the say what to do with the baby, but I think you should be able to withdraw your all parental rights if you don't feel like you're ready or financially.
I think you can do that.
I think it depends on the state. I read somewhere that a lot of times both parties have to sign. I'm not advocating you to get a bunch of people pregnant and be like, all right, I'm out, boys.
Right.
That's sorry,
Later.
I think it should be I don't think it should be after the kid is born. I think it should be from the very beginning.
Right.
Like before sex. Sign before. There you go.
It's an interesting look at it.
That is an interesting look at it. If you sign it and you're like, okay, if you get pregnant, I'm not dealing with it.
I had this was like a half stand-up bit that I was working on and a half kind of turned into something to be interesting. What if there was a consent app? Where hear me out, right?
No, I'm listening.
Let's
man.
say
I'm curious.
I match with, so-and-so on Tinder, right? And we're like, oh yeah, we want to fuck. And then I send her the consent app And she sends it to me, and we're both like, yep. What happens if there's a baby? Well, I want this. Like, dude, he would square away so much shit.
Dude, that's ingenious. Oh, man. That is genius. You know, I think there's this one guy I knew, and he moved to California, but he was a major, like, player. Like, he'd get with everyone. And he would, like, towards the end, he's like right before he moved, he's like, what I've started doing is I'll film them saying, I'm okay with this. Like, I want to do this right before. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, you know, it's, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
I guess if you're worried, like, or you want to make for sure there's not gonna be any weird shit going on. Like,
yeah, for real, you know. If that was the case, you can make so much money as a notary.
True
that.
Yeah, signing all those fucking
that's for
legal
damn
documents.
Sure. Yep. Oh man.
The consent form. Do you think that would kill the mood? Be like, here's this document.
Yeah,
make sure to sign it.
I'm sure it would. So you on Tinder, bro?
No, I'm not on Tinder.
I haven't been on there in years.
Yeah, me neither. It's cesspool.
I don't like, you know, even when I was single, I never liked dating apps. No, it just wasn't mine.
That's actually where I met my current girlfriend, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I met mine just on Facebook.
Yeah. No, mine was a dating app where I just, honestly, I wasn't really. I mean, I was on there to meet people, but I didn't think I would find someone serious. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone on dating apps does. And
No, they don't expect that.
Yeah, I just happened to. It worked out great.
Yeah, same. I just hit mine up and talking about something super. She started liking a few of my posts, and I was like, oh, I messaged her, and then, that was it. We just, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, that's kind of the world.
The love notary. Oh man,
I'm trying to go through here and see other cool shit that we can.
I feel like if you were the love notary, you'd have to have like a really big, like long beard and long hair. I don't know why.
It has to be white.
Why? I just picture that.
Very wisdom.
They come in and he's just sitting on one of those meditation chairs, just like,
welcome to the love room.
Yeah. Have careless whispers. Pay and drive on. Oh man.
Oh, you talked about lucid dreams.
Dude, I've been trying to do it so much lately.
Okay.
That's something I was trying to talk. I was thinking, I was like, man, I want to talk about this, and then I forgot it on the way over here.
So I actually I was involved in lucid dreaming for a little while.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get into it because I watched what was that movie?
Inception?
No. It was a horror movie.
Horror.
Insidious.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of talk on like the lucid dream stuff, and that's where
astral projection.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of got the idea. So I started doing some research, and there was a person who basically said, when you're awake during your day, do something cognitively every single time it happens. So what they said was like every time you enter a doorway, tell yourself, Wesley is entering this doorway. So I started doing it just consciously, like every time I walk through a doorway, Wesley's in the doorway.
So is that like some kind of reality check? Because I always went like this. I always go that, like try to put my finger through my palm. So like, because apparently in a dream, there's a chance it might just
right,
or like you have 4 fingers, or like.
So when I actually got to a point of lucid dreaming, or at least what I thought was lucid dreaming, that's what triggered it.
Really?
I only remember parts of dreams, but I was in control of my dream.
I'm gonna try that.
Here's the biggest concern that I always talk about, because I only probably had like 5 or 6 lucid dreams in total. I mean, there was more that I thought were lucid dreams, but I really don't think that. I think I was so hyped up that I was doing it that I actually thought I was when I wasn't. But I had a lucid nightmare, I guess you could call it.
I've heard of them. Apparently they're terrifying.
It was so bad
that you're like, I don't know if I want to do this.
No, I did everything in my power to never do it again.
Really? I've heard they're absolutely terrifying.
I haven't looked back.
Because don't you feel like you're stuck?
Yeah.
Like you're there and you know what's happening, but you
do
the more tripped out you get, the more crazy shit starts to happen.
The whole like 3 hours I thought I was dying. And I woke up and I thought I was dying. Like it just like on like a different level, because I don't know if you've ever had like like a weird incident happen where you almost got in a car crash that could have killed you.
Yeah. Many.
It felt way different than that.
Really?
Like, it was a feeling I can't compare it to anything. Like, I can't compare it to, like, I've been knocked out before, I've been choked out, nothing like that. It literally felt like every second for that, however long it was, like I was just straight dying.
Really?
And
damn,
it really ruined me for a little while, like, because I just
Messed with your
kept
head?
like thinking of it and thinking of it and thinking of it and thinking
Every
of
time
it.
you went to bed, you're like, God,
Yeah.
not again.
Oh, I don't believe in God, but I was sitting like,
I
fuck,
don't know.
don't
If
let it
you're
happen,
there, brother, man.
You fucking looking out for me or not?
Yeah.
And like the weird part is when I still consciously will sometimes like walk through a doorway and do it like subconsciously. But after that lucid nightmare, when I woke up and those next few weeks were fucking with me, I didn't have another one. I haven't had another one.
Do you remember it? Like, did it start off as because I've heard most of the time it starts off as a normal dream, and then something just goes wrong and it like trips you out, and then you getting tripped out, it just spirals down from there. Or did it start out as a nightmare?
No, I don't remember where I started. I started halfway through.
I mean, with most dreams, you're kind of in the middle of shit.
And I remember walking through a doorway to this place that I used to work for, Domino's up on Orchard Drive, where they were there. And I remember walking into it, and that's where the dream started. And like, it's not even that there was crazy shit going on, but it was almost like did it feel more like a night terror? Like, you know that feeling? I don't know if you've had a night terror, but even stuff that's happening, it won't even be scary, but you just have this feeling of like you're going to die, like you're just freaking the hell out. I haven't really put this into words because I don't talk about it that much.
They're hard to explain anyway.
If I were to tell you what this sounds like, and it's make me sound really crazy, it felt like I was in a morphed reality if there was like a parallel universe.
It's kind of true in a way. Dreams kind of are.
Like, I felt like everything was similar enough to be right, but something was off. Like, something was not, like, so uncomfortably off that it took it took the whole entire dream into this dark place.
Oh.
And like everything, like, it wasn't like there was monsters, there wasn't like creatures, there wasn't anything trying to kill me. It was like
subtleties.
Yeah, it was like subtleties, like I was being like haunted by something, but there wasn't a creature. There wasn't like
there's no physical
no, like
being, or
it was so
there was no physical manifestation of the fear that you were experiencing. It was just I'm picking up what you're putting down, though. I get what you're saying.
It's really hard to understand, but there was a lot of
what you're saying.
There was a lot of like weird, like the perception of color was weird in the dream, and it like fucked with me because like I was conscious in the dream.
You knew you were dreaming.
I was dreaming. The closest thing that I can tell you that it was like is being on like a hallucinogenic drug. Yeah. Where like your color and your perception of everything was different. Uh-huh. But it was so far different from that. Oh, okay. But it seemed, and this is where I started like getting interested in, like, obviously after like I got over this.
I bet that took a while. I've heard that before.
It felt like it was something that exists that we don't know about normally.
Something that we have no idea is even a thing yet.
But it's a reality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's just because the dream felt so real that I think that. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you if what I saw was like something, but it felt bigger than this reality.
I mean, we know very little about dreams. Right. We really don't know shit about dreams. Yeah. We know kind of when you dream.
And kind of like
and
why,
kind of how, we know. I think we know how, but I don't think we know why. Right. And I think it's debated. I think the how and the why are debated a lot. Yeah. I mean, I've had a few where, but usually what happens is like something. I'll just be doing normal, because in dream there's no beginning and end. No. They're kind of just in the middle of things, and it just makes sense. or it doesn't, but stuff
Yeah,
just
yeah,
keeps
yeah.
happening, you know. And there's been a few times I'll like notice something, I'll be like, wait a minute. I'll like look around and be like, I'm dreaming,
Yeah.
and then I'll get so excited. I'll be like, I did it! Oh my god! And then I'll wake up.
Yeah.
You know, but there's one. What do you think about astral projection? Because I've got a story about that one. That even has my nihilistic ass tripped out.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had situations where I felt like I was in like looking at myself. And the one that always I harken back to, and I don't know why it's so irrelevant to my life, but in the 3rd grade, and this is how much I've thought about it, is Mrs. Bateman's room, and I still remember it, like to this day, exactly how it looked. Me and my buddy named Austin were flipping off this wall. Like
3rd grade type stuff.
Being silly, like, oh, we were being edgy. And this girl named Kira went and told the teacher. And when she came in and saw us, my memory is from like watching it from a different point of view.
So it was more of an out of body experience.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything besides watching the experience. Like, I don't remember if I got in trouble, but I remember like, my memory in my brain right now is observing it from, like, the roof.
Wow.
And I don't know what that is.
Like a bird's eye view of the situation, not from your eyes.
Like,
not first person view.
I don't remember what I was looking at. I can, like, vividly see her walking into the room and seeing me doing it and yelling my name. Wow. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. And that memory stuck with me my whole life. Like, I don't know if it was, like, because I was so scared or embarrassed I was going to get in trouble that I just blocked it out and made this up. Because that's a possibility.
Yeah, it's possible. But that's bizarre.
But only that. That's the only time that I've ever had anything that was, like, that truly felt like out of body besides the lucid dream. And before you give me your experience, the one lucid dream that I really remember that was cool is, like, I legit walked out of my house, like, in the dream.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, like, I'm dreaming right now. And I fucking flew around my neighborhood.
That's, like, the goal of lucid. Yeah. That's what everyone wants to do.
It was so cool. And then it felt like it only lasted a couple minutes, like...
Yeah, they say time is different.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say it lasts longer, sometimes it's shorter.
Yeah, because I remember exactly what happened is I took off and I, like, kind of flew near the back of my house over houses to where this girl lived. I flew over her house and then to a park. And then the dream ended, and I woke up, and I looked at my phone. I had been sleeping for like 7.5 hours.
Wow.
And only remember that part.
Damn.
So let's hear your astral projection, because it's a weird subject.
It is. And, I mean, you know, you got to remember, I don't really believe in anything.
Right.
Like, some stuff I just say, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But most stuff, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in, you know, pretty much any of the main things that people debate, angels, demons, any of that shit.
Right.
I don't believe in that. You know, even like chakra type stuff, like New Age, I don't believe in that. I don't really believe in pretty much any of that. So this is what's so weird about it. So I was researching, you know, but I still research these type of things, you know, all the time, even though I don't believe in them. So I was researching astral projection. I was like, well, you know, I was watching videos on it, and like, I was like, man, that's pretty crazy, you know? But I was like, I think these people, because they were all like hippie type people talking about it, and I'm just like, I'm sure, you know? And so I was like, you know, I was looking into like, oh, how do people do this? And there's like all these techniques for it and stuff. You know, they say there's like this silver cord that's like attached to your like astral body that like, it connects like your astral body to like your physical body. And then like when you leave your body, there's like a pop feeling that like, and I was just like, you know, whatever. So, and then I went to bed, you know. So I was researching it for a while, for maybe a few hours, and then I just went to bed. And I do that with all kinds of things, you know.
Right.
And this is when I was at my parents' house. I was probably like maybe 17 and maybe 17 or 18. And I woke up and everything was like, it just felt like I woke up. And I was like, you know, whatever. So you know, it just felt kind of weird. So I stand up and I look over and like I'm just laying there. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I realized I was like, I just researching this type of thing. I was like, I'm probably just dreaming. And my stepdad, he would always do the same thing every night. He would sit on the couch downstairs and just watch sports shows.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just to make sure, I'm gonna go see what he's doing down there. So, so at first I tried to turn on the light and the light won't turn on. It just flips, So I tried to go in my bathroom and turn that on and it won't turn on. And I look in the mirror and they say if you're in any kind of dream state, don't look in a mirror because it can, you can look deformed and it can throw it into a nightmare or whatever. But this didn't feel like a dream. Like I really did just feel like I was awake. And I looked in the mirror and I looked just like myself. Like it looked totally normal. Everything looked fine. It wasn't like trippy or weird. I mean, something felt a bit off, and I couldn't exactly pin what it was, but I don't know. So I was like, all right, So I opened the door, and I tried to turn on the hallway light, and nothing. And I was like, all right, this is kind of tripping me out, but whatever, So I walked downstairs, and my house is my room's at the end of the hallway upstairs, and my parents have a pretty big house. So I walked all the way down, walked past my mom's room, which was like right here, walked down the stairs. There's like this little landing, and there's a wall right there. And if you look across, right under, next to the wall, you could see the living room, like the couch and stuff.
Right.
So I kind of peek over there, and yeah, my stepdad's just chilling there. Just watching a show. And I was like, and I could hear it. I could hear the narrators. It was like it was like a rerun of something that he had recorded.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, all right. So I keep going downstairs, and I was trying to be really quiet. So I look at the clock in the kitchen, and it was like 3:40 a.m., somewhere around there. And so I was like, okay, it's a little weird. I'm probably just awake now. And I was probably just still half asleep when I saw myself lying.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm always trying to debunk things. So I go back upstairs, and I was like, I'm just gonna peek inside my my mom's room just to see if she should just be asleep there, right? So I open the door, and there's this dude standing there, and he was this country looking guy, like a very southern, kind of redneck looking guy. You know what I mean? He had a baseball hat that he had pointing upwards, that way, kind of. You know what I mean? If you've seen it. Yeah. And he had a tank top on, and kind of baggy jeans. And usually if I saw that, I'd be like, who the hell are you? I'm gonna beat your ass unless you get out of here, But he just you'd think that would freak me out, but it just really pissed me off. And he was I was like, what's going on here? And he was just I can't remember what he said, but he said something about my stepdad, and how he started going off about why he and I are always disagreeing with things. And it was really, which is true, we did argue a lot. We did have some problems when I was growing up. So, and that was weird, but for some reason that guy just made me really pissed off. Didn't freak me out. I didn't question what he was doing there. I was just for some reason it was just I don't know, it was weird, but I didn't really think about it at the time. I wasn't who's this dude, this redneck dude in my mom's room at 3:30 in the morning talking about me and my stepdad's relationship? Makes no sense. So I go back in my room, and I try to turn on the lights again, and I was like, all right, this is tripping me out. So I just lay back down, and then I just wake up. And I was like,
oh my God,
what the hell? So I turn on the light, and it turns on. And I go downstairs, and I check, and my stepdad's watching TV. And then I was freaked out. I was like, oh God. So I peek in my mom's room, and she's just asleep.
No one there.
Yeah. Really tripped me the hell out. I have no idea.
That gives me the chills, man.
Yeah, man. It was vivid, and it didn't feel dreamlike, and I still remember every second of it.
Did you have that astral projection pop thing that gets talked about?
Not really. I mean, I remember when I stood up, I felt kind of dizzy. That's it. I didn't see a silver cord. I didn't see. I think that might be not a literal cord, but it's
right.
Yeah, but yeah, it really tripped me the hell out.
Because I
dreamed my mom was a man. No, because she was asleep while this was happening, while this other dude was there. It was.
So I I'm on the same boat with you, right? Like, I don't believe in God. I
Yeah.
don't. Ghosts. I think ghosts are.
They're a possibility. I just don't know.
That's what I think. I'll express my opinion on it because, like, I think that there's stuff that goes on that we just don't know yet.
I think that's the best way to put it. I mean, there is definitely weird shit that we just don't know.
And I hate.
That's a fact.
I hate using the word energy.
I know,
think
because it's so
fucking
hippie and...
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But I do think that there's some type of thing that we can't measure yet that exists in our reality that may cause certain circumstances to happen.
Yeah, I think there might be some sort of positive force and some sort of negative force.
Right. But I don't know, like, I mean, that could legit just be our magnetic field. And
It could be.
you know, that could cause more. Because there's stuff that we can still perceive now that we can't explain.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just goes deeper. I mean, even if you get into, like, parallel universes, like, it's almost mathematically proven that it should be there.
Yeah, no, that's one thing. When it comes to, like, parallel universes and stuff like that, I find that much more likely than, like, afterlives and heavens and hells. I mean, if they came out and was like, yeah, we proved that it's real, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not that surprised.
No, I would be more surprised if they proved that there was an afterlife.
Oh, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
How? Why? So dumb.
Well, and I think that would... I've had that discussion before, too, because I think that would pretty much make our reality pointless.
Yeah.
If there is an afterlife, so why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know?
What's the point? Like, why? Yeah, no, I agree. And it's just... Yeah, I don't know. That really tripped me out.
So you remember it so vividly.
Yeah.
Nothing like that's ever...
Nothing like that's ever happened again. Ever. I've tried again. Like, I've tried to, like... After that, I was like, okay, maybe there is something to this. You know, I kind of was like, all right, I don't know. So, like, I started trying it again. Like, I'd actually try, like, techniques to do it.
Yeah.
And, like, I'd research the hell out of it, just like I did that night, right before I went to bed. Nothing. Nothing. That was the only time anything like that's ever happened. Yeah.
Have you ever had, like, sleep paralysis? Or
I've had sleep paralysis, like, once or twice. And I never saw anything or...
Right.
I kind of felt like a constricting feeling. Like you know, people say they feel like someone's sitting on their chest.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that a little bit, but I was more just freaked out by the feeling I couldn't move. I was like, I don't like this, you know?
Yeah.
But that's it. I never saw anything but I did hallucinate all the time as a kid, so.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just like...
I'd see all kinds of things. I would see, I would see this guy standing outside my window. You know, he kind of looks like me now, thinking about it. He had long black hair. He had really long fingers. He had, you know, a really, really white face. He was really, really tall. He had a suit on. And he had green eyes, like bright green eyes, and he'd just, like, smile at me. Scared the shit out of me for, like, years. I'd see him. I'd see things, like, crawling. Like, I'd see, like, a shadow, like, crawling around, like, on my floor. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I saw something on the, you know, they'll be like, I see things out of the corner of my eye. I was like, no, I would see things, like, vividly. I'd be, like, looking at it, and it would get worse.
Like as vivid as, like, that water bottle.
Yeah, and, like, you know, I'd wake up, and there'd be, like, 2 or 3 people just, like, looking down at me. Just, you know, and I've always been a sleepwalker, you know, and I'd wake up, and I'd be somewhere else in my house, and there'd be people around me just talking, and just, yeah, it was crazy. But
does that happen anymore?
Or
is it kind of...
I think it was mostly... No, I don't think so. Mostly just when I was a kid. Now I just can't... I still sleepwalk.
Yeah?
Yeah. And apparently childhood hallucinations are pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they always say that, like, people who believe in different things always say children can perceive more than we can.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, they say that about dogs and animals, too. Like,
yeah, my dog barks at weird shit all the time.
Yeah. I wonder what that really is, because I wonder if that's, like, something like maybe children and animals and stuff are more attuned to, like...
Yeah, that's the thing.
Or...
I mean, I don't know, because... You know, with animals, I get it, because, I mean, their scent is, like, up to 100,000 times stronger than ours.
Right.
You know, they can smell like miles away, they say.
Yeah.
You know, they can smell things. You know, they can smell like the blood going through your like
Right.
body. You know, so if there is something else there, or even if it's just something that we didn't see or hear, and that they did, they start, you know, maybe that they're just picking up on something that we just aren't physically capable of hearing or seeing.
Right.
You know, but children, I don't know. I think children are just creepy.
Yeah, honestly. And I don't know if that's just movies have made that a reality, but like, I don't know, man. I've had a situation with like a young cousin where like it scared the shit out of me.
They're creepy little bastards.
Because like
dude.
he was old enough to talk and communicate like full sentences and stuff.
Yeah.
And he like I was watching him like he took care of himself. He was a smart little shit.
Yeah.
But we were like in the living room and he's all like, "Hey, I'm going to go play in my room." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Let me know if you need anything."
Right.
I'm not good with kids.
I'm not either.
I grew up not around kids, so I just don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, same.
And like I can't remember how old I was at the time, like 15, 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, go do your thing. I don't know, leave me alone." And like he was like I was within earshot of him to make sure that he was not like he didn't get hurt or something. But he was talking, like conversating by himself. And I'm like, oh, whatever. And then like he said something that was weird, like a word that I've never heard before. Like something that I couldn't fathom what it was, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like an incoherent word?
Yeah.
Was it more like a sound, or did it sound like a word that just wasn't our language?
It sounded like a word that wasn't our language.
Huh.
Like it sounded like he said it with there was a meaning. Like he didn't make like a ooh, like a
because kids make weird noises, but
Yeah.
it sounded like it was
It
like a...
sounded like it was some type of word. But I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go up there, I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, just talking to myself." I'm like, "What did you just say?" And he's like, "What? Say what?" I'm like, "What did you just say a couple seconds ago?" And he's like, "I didn't say anything." And I'm like, "I heard you say something." And he's all like, "I'm just playing around."
You're like, you're saying fucking weird shit,
But
man. You're not just playing around.
He's being weird about it.
Real,
like not
like suspicious?
Like
is he being like, I'm just playing around?
Not like he's like scared, but like he knows something.
Ooh.
He's like, "Oh, I'm just playing around."
Were you the only one there?
Yeah, for sure. I was terrified.
like,
I went back downstairs and I was like, "Okay, like that's cool." And I didn't hear another word. Like I heard toys or video games or whatever it was. And his parents came home and I'm like, "Hey, nothing bad happened. Everything was fine." Does he like say words that you guys like? Has he made up his own like little language or something? And they're like, "No, we don't think so." And I'm like, "Has he ever like made weird noises?" And they're like, "No, like he's pretty like he has a sister too."
Yes.
And I'm like, was I tripping myself out? Because like during that time period, I was really like trying to research ghosts because I didn't know what I believed, and like so I don't know if I was just playing.
That can happen.
Like I don't know if I was just tripping myself out, but he for sure said something that sounded like a word, like I don't really know, like it wasn't Italian because like people have asked me that, like, was it like Italian or something? It wasn't that.
It wasn't a language that you recognized.
Yeah, it wasn't something where I was
because
like,
you can hear Russian or French or Italian.
No,
you're like, oh, that's Russian, that's French. Even though you don't understand it, you're like,
it sounded like
otherworldly.
No, not even that. Like it didn't sound like something like alien or whatever. It sounded more robotic, if that makes sense. Like more like if that word to be invented, I feel like it'd be something in like technology.
Something like sci-fi?
Almost sci-fi.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask that fucker if he remembers that or not.
You gotta ask him. But do you remember when you were saying weird shit that one night and you were being weird about it when I asked you?
He's pretty old now. I mean,
yeah,
in his teens. So I'm curious. Yeah, maybe he could have just been fucking around. I don't know. Like, he could have just been pulling my leg because he knew that I was.
Did he know you were into that type of stuff? And he's like, I'm gonna trip him out. Like,
I mean, I talked about it with people around, so maybe he picked up on it. But I don't think he was old enough to consciously be like, I'm gonna fuck with him.
Yeah,
you know? Maybe.
I don't think he was old enough to be that malicious yet.
The only other thing that I could think of, because like I've thought about this a lot, is like if he had a toy that recorded and it like played it back in his voice.
I was gonna say, do you think? Yeah, you could, because I had those when I was a
yeah.
kid.
That's the only other thing that I can think of, and that's why he said that he didn't make a sound.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That's weird, man.
It was a weird experience. That your story though about the astral projecting.
It really freaked me out.
Yeah.
But during it didn't until the very end. Like when I was walking back down that hallway, then I was starting to get like freaked out, and I was like, okay, I don't like this. Like I don't know what's going on, but I don't like this. Like, and it felt, and that's when it started to feel off too. I was like, this doesn't feel like the place I'm used to. Like everything looks the same, but it doesn't feel right. Like feels like something's off. You know, I'm not. Like, I can see I'm in my house, but this doesn't feel like my house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank God I just woke up.
That's kind of the feeling that I felt during my lucid dream. Like take that feeling, but, like, make it, like, horribly scary.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't in a place that was scary. I was in a place that was very recognizable. And, like, when you dream, right, there's things that are different, or the people who should be there aren't there, and it's different people.
Yeah.
And that was the reality. But it was still comfortably that same place.
Yeah,
but
for
it
sure.
felt so wrong. Like, I felt like, I don't know, I almost, like, felt like I was violating, like, a rule.
By being there?
By being there, but it was violating me.
Damn.
That's the closest thing I could really like describe it to, but there's no real life feeling that's ever felt like that. Like,
that's wild.
Like the only I don't know, man.
That's true.
It was a weird one. I don't know why those things happen. Maybe
I don't either, man. I still think about that sometimes, and
yeah.
Sometimes if I'm ever bored, I'll be like, I'm gonna try to debunk that, and I'll like look into it and like try to. I just can't. I can't.
No.
Most people are like, you were dreaming, which. It's a possibility, but I don't know, man. Like that vivid and that clear, and I was like awake. Like I could feel things. Like I opened the door. I felt it. Like everything was tangible and real. Nothing was like surreal until I started to get freaked out. And even then, it didn't like switch. Like nothing changed. I just started to notice. Like
when you tried to flip the light on and nothing happened, did it flip up?
Yeah, the light flipped up and no light went on.
So
no light was turned on.
Weird.
Yeah. And all of them, too. I tried it with my lamp, and it was one of those lamps that you pull the string, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing. And, I mean, when I woke up, that was the first, when I woke up again, I guess, that was the first thing I tried. I was like, and it turned on, and I was like,
the reason why, because if you would have woken up and been like, it's like 6 a.m. and no one's awake and everything's like different.
Yeah, and
that would be, I'd be like, okay, well maybe it was a dream, but.
And that's the other thing. I looked at the time and it was like 3:50, like right after the time I looked at, and I was just like, and my stepdad doing the same thing. And usually he didn't go that late either, which is another weird thing. He usually went to bed at like 2 or maybe 3, but not like up to 4, almost 4, you know. And that's really, really tripped me out. He was in the same position, doing the exact same thing, like on the same part of the couch, in the same position, everything. And I was just like, and I looked in, peeked at my mom, and she was doing the same thing. She was just asleep on her side, just.
Do you think that?
Scared the shit out of me.
So you've had that experience. I've had my experiences, right? And there's a lot of stuff that I openly like rip on, like psychics and different things along those lines. Do you think there's a possibility that there are some people who can harness something like this more readily?
I mean, whatever it is, if it's even a thing, I mean, if it's a thing, then I'm sure it's possible. You know, there's some people that are more adept in that type of study and thing, that type of thing. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I've talked to a few psychics. One of them like got a lot of shit right and kind of tripped me out, but all the other ones just said shit that was so generic, like, oh, you you have a problem with, a male figure in your life. It's like everyone has a problem with some male figure in their life.
Right.
Guys are dicks.
Yeah, like no
on.
shit. He could literally be anybody, and then
Yeah.
they just play off of it.
Yeah, and then they just keep going. They're.
Have you done hypnosis?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend, who I was with for a long time, she actually wants to come on here.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. It would be cool. Yeah, she's a professional hypnotist.
Really?
Yeah, she's like a licensed hypnotist.
Would she do it on a podcast?
I'll ask her. I'm sure. I bet she might. I don't know. She's very like passionate about it. So.
If I've never been hypnotized.
Really?
If I were to take it seriously and give her permission
to
do it to me,
I'm sure she might, dude. I'll ask her.
I just don't. I haven't researched enough about hypnotism, but I know some people swear by it, and I know some people like it's still. There's both fences. Some people say it's like pseudoscience, Eastern medicine. Some people like say that it definitely is beneficial.
Yeah. She's done it to me. She did it to me plenty of times. And it was weird. Like, I definitely felt like I was chilled out. Like, I was chilling. I don't know if I was in, like, a different, like, state of mind or anything. I just felt really, like, just, like, yeah, relaxed, chilled out. But that was before she was, like, licensed and, like, really, really good. Like, I've heard she is now. So, I don't know. Maybe now she could, That's one of those things I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know.
So, when you were with her and whatnot, like, do you know a lot about it from her? Or are you still...
I mean, she would talk about it a lot,
Yeah.
Same thing, I always said I wanted to be a private investigator. She was like, I'm going to be a hypnotist.
So, what is it, like...
Or hypnotherapist. They say a hypnotist is more like a stage act.
Right.
Yeah, some of the times.
So what is it like? Let's say perfect case scenario, it works. Like, what is the goal? Like, what are they trying to accomplish?
Well, I think it depends on the situation. Like, a lot of the time it's like quitting smoking or weight loss or weight gain or, dealing with your anxieties or your stresses or.
Right.
Quitting, and pretty much, she says any type of addiction. I imagine getting someone to quit cigarettes would be easier than getting someone to quit, like, heroin.
Oh, for sure.
Who knows,
So, reach out to her and say that I want to do that, and then we can do...
She and her boyfriend commented on... It's a weird dynamic. We still are all, like, way cool with each other. Yeah, no, but her and her boyfriend were like... Yeah, I'll be on. I was like, sweet. Yeah, you guys should probably both come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an interesting dude, too. He'd have some cool... I'm sure he'd have some cool insights as well.
That's a cool dynamic that you're able to...
Yeah.
Like, be... Because you don't see that a lot.
Yeah, no. It's like, it's not even weird. Like, it's not weird. Like, she... For a while, she'd watch my ferrets for me sometimes. Yeah. And, like, I'd just go over there and pick them up, and, like, she'd let me borrow her carpet cleaner. And, like, just stuff like that, like, we'll hang out. And her and my current girlfriend were going to go to a concert together one time, like, on their own. I was like, that is interesting.
That is interesting,
That's
honestly.
True.
You don't see that type of dynamic around.
You really don't. You really don't. But, yeah, it's cool. It's, like, it's not awkward or anything either. Like, my girlfriend doesn't care. Like,
yeah. I think that's just mindsets too, like.
Yeah, for sure.
In the reality of things, like, I mean, we all probably have exes that we don't like.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's a few of them I wouldn't want to just go kick it with, you know. But
I think a lot of the time, in reality, you just if it isn't gonna work out, you can still be cool. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Some people just think too deep about relations, but
definitely.
We'll go back on here and look at some shit.
Yes.
Let's see. I mean, Demon Souls, though. That's the only reason I'm going to get a PS5.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. When I saw that. Ooh.
I was so pumped.
You play The Last of Us 2?
Not yet.
Oh, I got it. I'm just waiting to play it. Did you play the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First one was one of the best games ever made.
Oh, for sure. And they're saying this one's even better. Somehow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because you know that it got leaked, right? Like beforehand, all the story got leaked online. And,
I read that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it was a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee
who's pissed at the company,
Yeah,
got fired or something.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but dude, he leaked the whole entire story. And
I'm sure he could get sued for that.
oh yeah, I think he's going to jail.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm sure if you work at a game company, you have to sign a non-disclosure.
Well, yeah, and I think the whole thing is they were going to prove that from him doing this, because honestly, when he leaked it and people started reading the story, it had a lot of negative feedback. People were like, "This game's going to suck."
Really?
Yeah, and the last thing that I read is they're going to try and prove that because of what he did, they lost multi-millions of dollars because people aren't going to buy a game that they know the story of, and they're not going to buy a game because of the negative feedback.
Wow.
So he might legit be going down pretty hard.
I mean, they're a powerful company. I'm sure they could.
Yeah. I'm
sure they could cause some damage. You don't want to mess with an entity that's that powerful. You know?
Well, no. I mean, Naughty Dog has been making games since the early.
They
90s?
made didn't they make Jack and Daxter?
Yeah, I think.
Or no.
Bandicoot.
Yeah, Bandicoot, and they also made what was it? Was it Ratchet and Clank? No, maybe it was Bandicoot that I was thinking of. And then Uncharted, right?
Yeah.
Uncharted, The Last of Us.
Uncharted is. I haven't played the newest one, but
4.
Yeah.
I got it on a free weekend or something, but I never finished it. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I never got really into those games as much, but.
Past the workplace harassment stuff right now? Not familiar with.
I'm not familiar with that either. You should elaborate.
I like some of these posts that you have where it's like, if I announced I'd be giving a TED Talk, what topic would it be? And everyone just puts some funny stuff. I reached out to some people to try and find someone who would want to come on and try and convince us that zodiac signs are
That's
real.
what I'm saying. I want to find.
I can't find someone. They don't have the. Because I'm totally cool. I would sit back and listen to everything
I would
before.
Too. Yeah.
But it's like what we talked about earlier, with some hypnotists, or not hypnotists, some psychics. All zodiac stuff is telling you base shit. Of course you're going to think it's about you.
Yeah, for real. It's just you're strong and beautiful. It's oh my God, I am strong and beautiful.
You're right, yeah.
It's yeah.
God, it has been a struggle. Yeah. Mars has been in retrograde. I can't fucking work today.
I think that shit's almost worse than religion.
Yeah.
Not worse this is the impact it has, but how dumb it is, the whole concept of it.
I'm worried that I'm a dickhead and no one actually believes it. They just think it's fun. I'm worried about that sometimes because I haven't met someone who's ready to argue.
If you just think it's fun, then whatever, man. Yeah. But I'd like to see someone who it's their entire life, their religion. They won't go outside if the stars aren't aligned properly.
Right.
If we could find a person like that, yeah.
I want to. What's the over/under on green hair?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't know, man. Like I said before, I kind of wonder if people just need to have something to believe in, but
it's true. Like I said, I just think a lot of times people can't accept, or they don't. I don't think the human mind likes the idea of not knowing. We look for conclusions and patterns and possibilities. It's hard for the human brain to just go, I don't know, man.
Right.
We try to figure it out.
So here's one that looks like you talked about. Let's see. I don't know what this word is. This is, why do a lot of neurotypical people feel guilty when someone buys them something, does something for them?
Yeah, that's one I've wondered for a long time.
What is that? I'm not familiar with that.
So when I refer to someone as a neurotypical, I just refer to them as someone without antisocial personality disorder, someone who feels the normal amount of empathy.
Okay.
Yeah. So just pretty much anyone who's not ASPD.
So your question is, why do they feel bad if someone purchases like a gift for them?
Yeah, it seems so weird. I mean, there's a lot of things that I see neurotypical people do that I don't understand, but that's definitely one of them. Like, I'll see someone be like, oh, someone will get someone else a gift, and they'll be like, oh, I can't. I feel horrible. And I'm just like, they're giving you shit, bro. Take it.
I think that it's, at least from my point of view, I think it's partially... And then there's a couple ways I could look at this. And I didn't read the comments or whatever, but I think that, one, at least for me sometimes, I feel now obligated that I have to do something back.
Why?
Because it's almost like... You're doing this for me, so I feel like I have to prove...
Like eye for an eye, but in a good way?
Yes.
Not in a retribution type way?
Right.
Really?
That is one thing, and I think that's why a lot of people say that they don't like receiving gifts, is because now they feel like they're obligated to do something themselves when they don't want to.
Because I mean, I've tried to think about different reasons for that, and I guess that can make sense. And another one I was thinking of is I was like, is it a pride thing? Like, is it like I don't want people to think I can't afford things for myself? Because maybe that one I could understand.
I think it could be a mix of things for sure, because I can definitely see the pride thing if it was like a gift of like a gift as far as like something that is a necessity.
Yeah.
Like if I was struggling and someone was like, hey man, I brought you this toilet paper. I know like things have been tough. Yeah, definitely. I'd be like, man, that's...
I wouldn't like that either. I'd be like, I'm fine, bro.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And the other one that I think is weird, but, well, I don't know. Before I go to that, like, why aren't you only supposed to feel guilty for things that you've done wrong to others?
Yes.
So, like, I didn't do anything wrong.
I think it's a social thing too. Like I feel like it's
Really?
been imprinted in.
That might just be one of the social norms I don't get.
I think it's more like. I think it's like how people feel like they should act when receiving a gift, when in reality, like, I don't know, like it's definitely tough to explain. But
yeah, I bet
I get where the confusion comes from because. So can you explain to me like what you said the disorder that you have, or what is it called?
Antisocial personality disorder.
So what all falls under that category, and what is it that affects you the most?
So, there's a very specific word for it that I absolutely hate. I'm sure you've heard it. Everyone has. But it's like, well, a different word for antisocial personality disorder. Actually, two of them specifically. But it has such a the stigma on that one is just the worst. Like
really?
I've had people be like, "Have you ever killed someone?" Or like, "Oh yeah, dude." They'll be like, do you even love anyone, bro? Like, do you care about anyone besides yourself, bro? Stuff like that, just super stupid. Which doesn't like offend me, but it's just annoying. And I get why a lot of people think that, but basically. If someone with antisocial personality disorder, I mean, it's a spectrum within itself.
Right.
Some people are a lot worse than others. But generally, you have to have a certain level of narcissism. And you generally have little or no empathy. Which also goes along with guilt, shame, embarrassment, stuff like that.
Okay.
And, usually you have a really high ego. A lot of people with ASPD are prone to committing crimes or, substance abuse or, they're, a lot of times they come off as really charming and charismatic and kind of glib, but it's like, it comes off, it's like, it can be insincere. That's one I have a problem with sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of, a lot of times they're very manipulative. They can lie really easily. They lie a lot, and I refer to people like them because like I feel like I'm more high functioning than most people with it, or at least a lot of people. Just because I got diagnosed with it when I was 18, and I had to. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anything was wrong with me. Like I was like, it's you guys that are the problem. Like I'm just I'm too smart for this. Like which in thinking about it now, I was just super arrogant. you know, I got sent to the psychologist, and he would, you know, he'd do all these tests on me. He made me take a polygraph test at one point. And, you know, people think that the diagnosis for it is, like, really simple. I mean, it took, like, weeks and weeks and weeks after, like, lots of testing, and they did brain scans on me. You know, part of my brain is, like, actually smaller than, like, normal persons. The part of the brain that develops, like, you know, emotions. I think it's called the amygdala, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
So it's, and then like when you see like these weird social interactions, it doesn't click on why it's even a thing.
Yeah, I don't get it, you know. And like I think I've trained myself to like cognitively empathize sometimes. But yeah, I mean it's like every social situation involving someone else that someone else having like a bad time with anything is like a struggle. Like I have to consciously be like, okay, what should I say here? Like what should I how do I do this without sounding like I don't care? You know? Yeah, it's just like I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, when I refer to neurotypical, and yeah, it can mean things like that, but I mean more just people who are empathetically normal, not empathetically challenged.
So outside of the gift-giving ones, are there other ones that are like that come to mind that are very...
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, survivor's guilt I think is stupid. And this is going to sound cold, but...
Which one's survivor's guilt?
So like, let's say you and I got in a car crash, and I died. You came out and you were like, it should have been me. I was the one who should have been killed, you know? I think that's dumb because I think it's making it all about them.
Absolutely.
And I've always thought that was stupid. Do you have any explanation for that one? I've never had anyone give me a good explanation for that one.
The only explanation I can give you is that if someone is doing that, I don't know if that's actually like a chemical thing that happens.
Yeah.
That they feel like they have to do that. But to me, if someone's doing that, I would look at them as like they're trying to potentially make people feel better about their lost one.
Yeah.
Saying like, man, I wish it could have been me. Instead, in hopes that will cheer up like the party that's suffering. But in reality, it doesn't do that.
That's interesting. That maybe that is why. Because like, if I was in a car crash with a bunch of people, and some of the people died, I'd be like, I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, it should have been me.
I think
that's just dumb.
I think that it can also be a trigger to try and like make them mentally feel more comfortable with the fact that they... Because for me, for example, that would be a lot of emotions, especially if it was me and like my best friend, and my best friend died.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably mentally try and figure out ways to deal with it, and that might be one of them. Like, man, I cared for him so much that I truly wish it was me, so he could have went on instead of myself. I could kind of see that, but my line is, when is it genuine, and when is it them trying to like do it to make others feel better?
Yeah, that's true, and I can never tell. That's just one of those things I've never understood. A lot of times, another thing, people they'll just say yes to things that they don't want to do because they feel bad. I'm like, if I don't want to do something, I don't give a shit how you feel about my decision. Like, and like that's I think one of the biggest, like, and this might be the case with some people with ASPD, but they'll think that I don't care about anyone or anything except myself. Like, that's a common misconception. And maybe I'm sure some of them are like that. Some people are like that with it, but I mean, I can definitely the amount of people I care about is definitely smaller, and same with the amount of just issues in general. Like, and the other thing is, people will assume I'm like sadistic because of it. They'll be like, oh, do you like like harming people or animals, And I'm like, no. I'm not a sadist. It's just weird how, I don't know, but at the same time I get that, because you hear so many famous people with it, Ted Bundy and, you know, all these people that are like, you hear about all these terrible things they've done, and
So it's just such a negative stigma.
it's
that
the
it's hard
worst
to-
stigma. Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. One day I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be open about it because I feel like that's more, you know, we're
Well-
known for being deceptive and sneaky, and I'm like, I'll just try to be as honest about it as possible. you
Well,
know?
I mean,
And I want to break the stigma as much as I can.
yeah, because I mean, from everything the interactions that we've had,
Most people can't tell.
No.
You know, sometimes after like a while of knowing me, they'll be like, okay, something, you know, they'll be like, something's just not quite like there, you know.
well, even when you bring up like ego or arrogance, like the stuff that you say, like
yeah.
I've met people who are fucking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like you're any like I don't know, and maybe that's why there's like problems with it. Is like you're just you. Like why is it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my psychologist refers to this thing as, you know, masking, which is where if I go out into a social situation, I can like, because in reality I'm really antisocial, you know, like I'm like I'll hang out with my friends and stuff and like do stuff like this, you know, but like the idea of like going to a party, the only way I will do that is if there's something I can benefit from that. And, you know, in order to do that, I'm going to, you know, I can just put on this mask and I can be super talkative and sociable and, you know, the life of the party and just, you know, stuff like that. But, yeah, you know, I'm really good at adapting to each situation that I'm in.
How did you realize that this was like something that you had?
There's a few different things that, you know, just growing up, a lot of, you know, I think some events might have contributed to it, but it wasn't me, it was other people who were like, I think there might be something, you know, off here. You know, I witnessed a really violent accident one time, and I was just like, okay, you know, I was just trying to walk to my friend's house. And, you know, and then the police came over and they tried to talk to me, because it was a long road down there. And we tried to talk to me. They're like, you know, you're in shock. You know, and I was like, dude, I just want to go to my friend's house. I didn't know them. I don't care. I just want to go over there. And I think that was one of the things that I think, you know, tripped out some of the people I, you know, was like around, like friends and family and stuff. And then, yeah, when I met my psychologist, he was just like, and I still see him all the time. That's probably why it doesn't seem like I'm super cocky, or, you know, he teaches me ways to tone it down. Like he always says, if I'm talking to someone, like don't look like directly at them, like look past them just barely, because that's another common problem we have is we make too much eye contact, and it can come off as like threatening sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that led up to it, but I think that the accident that I witnessed, and there's just a few things that I saw that I just, or things that happened to others around me, or even things that I did that affected others around me that just didn't seem to affect me, you know?
So do you think if, like, let's say there's another person who was in your shoes, you know, turning 16, 17, 18, and they're, you know, they have this same type of situation, if they don't have like a psychiatrist or someone there to like try and point you in a direction, like, or at least help you understand what's going on, do you think that it would be easy to fall down like a slippery slope?
Definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of things, you know, I have to really try to figure out. Like, I know right from wrong. But yeah, I definitely think it would be, you know, and it took a long time to convince me that there was anything wrong with me, you know. That's part of it. I thought I was special and superior, and just I thought people were just beneath me and stupid, and I thought that's what it was. I was like, oh, people are just dumb. They just don't understand, you know, like stuff like that. But you know, once I was finally convinced, like he showed me all these things, he's like, dude, you know, there's something, there's part of your brain that's not working right, you know. That was the most, like, I think that's the most important thing if you have it, is self-actualization and like admitting it, and I even think being open about it, even though that causes problems within itself, because people won't trust you if you tell them. But
That's weird because if I don't know, I feel like it. I guess that just goes back to stigmas, and if people really buy into stigmas as much as media wants you to, because like if someone came to me and said something like this and they're open about it, I would personally want to trust them more.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I would think
Yeah.
so too, you know? But I mean, you know, that's why I always use the term ASPD, which is the clinical term. But if I came in, you know, if I was talking to someone and I'm like, yeah, I was diagnosed as a sociopath when I was 18, they'd be like, okay. Like,
Right.
you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that's why
Because it does have
just
such a
that
negative-
word has such a power, you know? You're like, oh, serial killers, abusive boyfriends, you know, politicians.
right.
Shit like that, dictators, you know? It's like, and they say it's actually like 1 in 100 people
yeah.
or something. It's way more common in men.
Mhm.
But I mean, they say most of them never do anything violent in their life.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's most, but a good amount do nothing violent. They just, you know, they're more like, they might be more likely to have a job like a lawyer or a surgeon or
Well, and I think it goes back to
mortician. But
I think it goes back to what you said though, like you didn't think that there was a problem, so how many, you know, men, I'm sure there's some women too, like who just live with it thinking there's not a problem.
And that's the thing, you know, and it is hard to admit it because you really do feel like you're just the shit, and like you know, you don't want to admit that there's something actually like wrong with you. But I think if more people admitted it and like came to terms with it and like actually like worked on it, and especially when they're younger, you know, you can't be diagnosed officially with it until you're 18, but there's signs for
You're
sure
right.
when you're younger. But I think, yeah, if they came to terms with it and like admitted it and not self-diagnosed though, that's I hate when people do that. People do that all the time.
Yeah.
That's
people who just want to be.
And I'm like, okay, now you're just being edgy.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think if they come to terms with it, that's like a big like positive step for sure. 'Cause
Right.
then you can, you know, I mean, it's a struggle sometimes because like sometimes you really don't know how to act or how to, you know, respond, or you know, it can make some kind of relationships hard. People won't trust you. Or
So is there things that like to like break down the stigma of it, right? Like, you know, obviously you hear it all in what you just listed, like serial killers and stuff like that, but like, is it necessarily like it's not all emotions, because you can it's
No.
more
you know, and they don't use the word really psychopath or sociopath like anymore, but people still use it. But you know, my psychologist said that someone who we'd consider on the more of the sociopathic side probably developed it, and they probably have some kind of, you know, they know right from wrong, but a lot of times they just don't care.
right.
They say like someone more on the psychopathic side has no idea. Like they just don't know right
They
from
can't
wrong.
grasp the
They
concept.
don't they have no they really don't have any true emotion. You know, so I mean, and it really is like a spectrum. Like, you know,
Right.
you look it up and you'll be like, oh, they have all of these, but you know, each one is totally different.
Yeah, case
you
by
know?
case. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I think that's why there is a stigma, is because people,
Yeah.
and this goes not only for this, but a whole bunch of different things. It's like,
Oh yeah.
we need to stop labeling people, like, just case by case. Everyone's going to be different. Aren't we all supposed to be our unique selves?
Yeah, exactly.
So why do we
yeah.
label? Like,
Yeah.
and-
Exactly. But yeah, no, like to answer your question, no, I mean, I can definitely feel. I think some emotions might be a little more shallow than other people's, but I don't know because I've never known any different.
Right.
You know, I can feel sad, happy, angry,
Sure.
scared. You know, even like depressed, anxious. I don't have depression or anxiety, but you know, I can feel those
Right.
emotions. The only ones I don't think I can feel are shame, guilt, embarrassment, or anything that's tied directly to empathy.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I can I've taught myself to like recognize when I've done wrong, like it's not like I just do whatever the hell I want and just don't care at all. Like, I can if I do something wrong and someone, like, tells me, or, like, even if I realize it on my own, I can be like, I'm sorry, like, I know that I was wrong,
The one that is interesting to me is the embarrassment thing. So is that, because I'm trying to think of, like, a situation, like,
Yeah, I don't understand just the way people explain it to me. Like, people be like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed." I just don't get it.
I think a lot of times people say embarrassed and not actually, like, know what that means. So, like, I'll give you an embarrassing moment of my life, like an actual embarrassing moment. I was pissed drunk at a party once, and I went to go pee, like, barely standing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I walked out, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And I didn't pull my pants up, and my dick was just out. I felt embarrassed because everyone was on me, and I just did something that could have ruined my reputation, but it wasn't something that was necessary. I wasn't doing it to harm people. I wasn't doing it to, like, any ulterior motives. It was because I forgot, and that's what felt embarrassing.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if that same thing happened to me, I'd be like, "Oh, everyone's looking at me.
Interesting.
All the attention on myself." Like, I think I'd just be like, "Oh, I'm a dumbass." Like,
right.
Whatever.
Well, that's how.
I think that's how it would be. Like, I wouldn't be like, I'd just be like,
see, and I almost think that
you guys.
I almost think, though, that is the reality. That is what embarrassment is not necessarily like, I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people's, like, whole face turn red.
Yeah.
And they'll, like, run out the door.
Yeah.
And shit. I don't. But they do say embarrassment is something that comes off of empathy. A lot of people say you can't feel fear. I can definitely feel fear.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone with it, but yeah, embarrassment, that, I don't know. Everything that I've seen, whenever I've seen people get embarrassed, or I've even heard of secondhand embarrassment, where someone gets embarrassed for someone else, and that's even more mind-blowing. I don't know how the hell. I love watching people get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like those videos of people, like, doing
I think I can give you a couple examples without naming people's names.
Yeah.
But for me, I've definitely experienced secondhand embarrassment, and it's in the case of, like, how do I word this without pissing friends off? There's been people who I hang out with. I guess I shouldn't give a fuck. There's people that I've hung out with who do things that I wouldn't do, that I don't want to be associated with.
Okay.
But because they're my friends, I feel embarrassed because now they're doing something that's going to make potentially me look bad.
Okay, well, that's a bit more understandable. That I get,
But that's almost not necessarily embarrassment for me.
That's just looking out for
frustration.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, you're like, you're going to make me look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, embarrassment is dumbass. Like, I don't want to look like a dumbass. That's embarrassment for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because no one wants to look like a dumbass.
And I don't really understand the difference between shame and guilt, but I've had people tell me, like, you should be ashamed of yourself, and I'm just like, okay.
I think shame falls under that category of, like, what we talked about the last episode, where, like, good and bad are subjective by each person. I think shame really falls under it because, like, what's something that's public, like, most people would say are shameful, like, I don't know, let's use, like, sleeping around.
Right.
Like,
do you mean, like, while you're committed, or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of people who would say that's shameful. Like, you shouldn't do that because, like, you're not doing anything good with it. You're just fucking people to fuck people.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. And
some
people would say that.
Yeah, some people would look at that. But I think shameful is subjective because, like, in a lot of people's eyes, who gives a fuck? It's just sex.
For real, I'd be like, I don't care.
But to some people, they think, like, that's why I think it's subjective, is because, like, that could be something that they look at really, like, negatively. Like, that if someone, like, found out that I slept with a bunch of people, they're going to treat me different.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that, and that I understand of something being shameful, but feeling shame, like feeling ashamed of yourself? Like, what would that, I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever felt much shame myself.
Yeah, I don't, maybe I can, I just haven't done anything bad enough. I don't know.
Because, like, I think that, I'm trying to think of an example. I think the only way that I would feel shame is if I did something that I knew was morally wrong and, like, fucked with my moral standards, but I did it anyways.
Really?
I think that's the only way that I would really feel shame, because I'm someone who I really like people say this all the time, but I generally don't really care what people's opinions are of me.
Yeah,
because I know who I am.
Yeah, same.
Like, so if someone's like, "Oh, you're whatever," like, why would you do that? Because I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know,
this is off topic, but and a lot of people have a problem. Like, a lot of people really don't like this, but I love it. When someone gets, like, really mad at me, I just get, like, such a kick out of it, because their facial expressions, and I remember, like, usually I'll just zone it out, and especially if it's not someone that I particularly care about, like someone on the street or like a teacher when I was in school. I just watch their facial expressions and watch their forehead, and it would get so, like, crinkles, and I'm just like, look at you, man. You're getting so worked up.
I think so too, because I can't believe how worked up some people can get over, like, really like small things. Yeah.
Oh, same. And that, like, all throughout high school they'd be like, I can't believe you did this, you should feel ashamed of yourself, and I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, but, like, what? Like, I mean, that's the thing, is, like, it's so,
yeah,
like, something that, like, I'm trying to think if there's ever been a moment where I was like, man, that person should be ashamed. One.
Okay.
This kid jacked off in the middle of class. Like, just straight up just beat his meat under his desk.
Wow. Like, secretly or openly? Was he trying to be secret, but it wasn't going so well?
Like, in the middle of, like, we were all in there, and he was just like, just really going at it. And, like,
damn.
That is probably one of the only moments I can think of where I was like, I was ashamed for that person. I was like, damn, you should be ashamed. But I don't know why. I couldn't explain to you why I had that feeling.
Huh.
I think because it's so, like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can really associate with it, is, like, shame.
That makes sense.
But I don't, outside of that, I can't really.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. People think I have no morals. It's like, I mean, there are some morals that I think are stupid, but, obviously I'm not going to rape, murder, like, kidnap, like, the obvious shit like that. Well, I mean, if it was, I could murder if it was self-defense, or, like, if it was defending someone, like if someone broke into my house, like, if I was staying at my girlfriend's house and someone broke in and they had a knife, like, I'd shoot their ass without even thinking about it. Like,
right.
Wouldn't feel a damn bit of anything about that. I'd be like, you made that decision to come in here.
Do you think... Okay, I'm curious about this.
Yeah.
Let's say that situation happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think anything in your life would shift?
No.
Not at all.
No. Maybe, I mean, probably the people's around me. My girlfriend is the complete opposite of me. She's very empathetic, very... so I'm sure she would be, really fucked up over it, and I'd be like, whatever. Like, I don't think anything in my life would shift. Except I might be on more alert for someone breaking in again.
True.
True. I might be like, get like a security system. I think that's the only thing. Yeah. But I think that's it.
Because if that question is reversed to me, I couldn't confidently tell you that nothing would shift.
Really?
I would almost wonder if, like, taking someone's life, even if it is self-defense, it might change me a little bit.
Really?
But I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in a situation like that, you really don't know till it happens. Yeah. But just knowing myself, I don't think anything would change.
Right.
I mean, like, but I mean, I have no desire or yeah, and people will think that too. They'll be like, you've never even thought about it. I'm like, no, You know, okay, if someone like brutally raped and like murdered my girlfriend,
Oh, for sure.
I would hunt their ass down.
Oh yeah, they're getting killed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a
Yeah.
doubt. You know, that's the only time it would be like first degree, like
Right.
you know what I mean. But I feel like
Plotting.
most people would do. Like, a lot of people would do that.
I don't know a single person who wouldn't. Say
Who's
they
like,
would.
better hope the cops get to you first. You know, like yeah, exactly. You
think-
know.
But yeah, see, like, so why would that fall under something that people would just
I
because
don't know.
they know Ted Bundy was this? Like,
Yeah, and you know, I don't think Jeffrey Dahmer had it. I don't think he was a psychopath or a sociopath.
No.
I don't even think he was a narcissist. I think he was just deranged.
Yeah, I think that he just.
What's that?
Building kind of shook.
It's a windy?
Look, I don't think so. Was it a small earthquake again?
Maybe. Not windy?
Not even a bit.
You felt that though, right?
Yeah. Trees are not moving even an inch. I mean, unless that was a big truck.
I guess maybe. That was weird. At first I was like, wait, am I hearing that or am I feeling that?
Yeah. I kind of felt it in my feet.
I kind of did a little bit too, yeah.
Where
The
were
last earthquake scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, where were you when that
I was just in
happened?
my apartment downtown, and it was like 7 in the morning whenever it
Yeah.
happened. I was just about to fall asleep. That's usually around my bedtime. I was just about to fall asleep, and then just, and my roommate and I were both like, what the hell? And we were like looking at each other like, what the hell's going on? You know,
Yeah.
like, it took a while to comprehend. My room was like, I think we're having an earthquake, bro. And I was like, shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was at work. It was scary because like there's heavy objects there, so like a lot of people were like, "Oh, fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
that's some scary shit. You fat fuck.
No, you're a fat fuck.
Hey man, call me the Girthquake.
Call me the what?
The Girthquake. For multiple reasons, bud.
Oh,
Take that one home with you, Badger.
Oh man.
Scary. Yeah, true. No, the earthquake was kind of fucking. I think that was a weird moment for a lot of people because, like,
You hear about them, but you
Yeah.
actually, that was the first one I've ever felt in my
yeah,
whole life.
me too.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely changed. Like, yeah, after like the first major earthquake, when we had like the second one, like the kind of like aftershock one.
Yeah.
There was like a couple weeks where I was like kind of
I was, yeah, no, me too.
almost like
I mean,
phantom shocks.
yeah, you'd be laying down, you're like,
Is that another one?
wait a minute. I'm gonna look it up if we just had one. I'm curious, because that
Yeah.
kind of felt like one a little
It
bit.
did. It moved enough to like,
Notice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can look it up on the U of U thing or whatever it is.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not seeing any.
I hope that fucking Yellowstone doesn't go off, man.
Yeah, that'd be a shitty day for sure,
A
bro.
bunch of people were talking about that. I guess there was like,
Every time there's an earthquake, people trip out about that.
yeah.
You know, and the thing is, Yellowstone is one of the most seismic areas
Yeah.
in the entire Northwest, or, entire North America.
Yeah.
You know, earthquakes happen there all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
every
so
day.
people will share these articles. It's like they had 4 earthquakes. It's like they have
Yeah, no
earthquakes
shit.
all the time.
Yeah, go look at the thing and
All the time. Yeah, it's just like, but I didn't see one. Weird.
maybe it was just a truck or something.
Yeah, maybe.
A big ass truck for it to rattle this place though.
Dude, for real.
Fuck. How late did you want to go tonight?
Probably go another little bit if you want.
Yeah, I'm definitely down.
Dope.
Let me tell this other kid though.
We can go till like 10.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. I'm not showing any other guys. You both look like you got Xbox away 2 gamer tags. Nah, man, I've got a PS4 and I've got a PC.
Yeah. I pretty much only PC game at this point.
Yeah, same. I mean, you best believe I'm gonna be playing through The Last of Us. I'll play I really like the PS4 exclusives.
Yeah.
Like, I like Bloodborne is probably my favorite game of all time.
That's what I bought the PS4 for with
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's why I had one and then I sold it
Yeah.
because I had my PC, and then I bought another one for Bloodborne again. I want to get a tattoo with a hunter's mark somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you have any tattoos?
No, not yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I save money and then I'm like, fuck, I need to put this money somewhere else.
Yeah.
I should just stop trying to justify other stuff I really want.
They are expensive, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely one of the type of people that I'm not just going to go let fucking Joe Blow tattoo me because he'll do it for cheap.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. That's something. I mean, that's gonna be on you forever.
Yeah.
You want to have it someone who is gonna do a good job.
Yeah, and I don't want people to fuck around either.
No, definitely not.
How's your new BT router? You like the design? What?
I think you might be referring to the. Wait, what? Bro, what the hell are you talking about?
Bluetooth router? BT?
You smashed them girls yesterday?
Nah, dude.
This fucking guy.
Nah, dude. I don't know what you mean. Vamp Buffy. Interesting name, though.
Do you think he's one of those guys in high school that thought he was a vampire?
Dude, bro, you want to go to the lunchroom and drink Clamato juice?
Oh, I had a feeling you were referring to the PS5 when talking about the
yeah.
router, but I wasn't sure, so I wasn't like...
You memed. I like it.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't really give a shit about how it looks, to be completely honest.
I made the joke that I was like, well, welcome, Sony fanboys, welcome to the PCs. Like, it just looks like a small PC.
Yeah,
like, I don't
for
know.
Real. So does the Xbox.
Yeah.
Apparently the Xbox is a lot smaller than it looks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I watched a video on it, and it was actually, like, it was decently, like...
Oh, well, that's good, because it looks like a fucking mini fridge.
I know, it really does, yeah.
I do like what Xbox is doing with all the designs, though. Like, they're going to launch with, like, 30 or 40 unique designs that you can pick from.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of cool shit, like, obviously, like, game-related ones, but there's, like, gold and, like, a whole bunch of cool-looking designs. I'm like,
damn.
Might as well.
Yeah, people will be like, oh, you know, Sony fanboy. And I'm like, bro, my PC will fuck any console up right now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Your IP is something like that? I mean, that might be the IP, but I don't really know what you want.
It's pretty easy to find someone's IP.
Yeah, like...
I do it at work.
Yeah. It's all yours. You can have
New consoles looks like shit. Yeah, I mean, they're not... I wouldn't pick them as the design either, but, I mean, I don't really care. Like, I'm not looking at the console when I'm playing it.
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, thanks for the follows, fellas. Or ladies. Yeah, I've never been a person that really gives a shit about, like, design.
Nah.
And that goes with my clothing, too. Like, someone asked me the other day, I'm like, why do you always wear just basic clothing? I'm like, I just don't really fucking...
Yeah, same. Except I like shoes.
Yeah.
I love my Doc Martens. Those are like... I love the design of those. But that's pretty much it. Everything else, I don't really care.
No, I'm not a designer boy.
Oh, I'm not either. I think even if I was, like, really wealthy... I just can't be like... I can't picture being like, oh, yeah, I spent, $2,000 on a Louis V belt,
Dude, I'd dress like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
If you walk around in basketball shirts like Captain America
straight
shirts.
up. I'd probably dress exactly how I do now. Yeah. I'd probably have some expensive suits, though.
Yeah.
I do like suits, but...
I like suits. I like watches. I'm a watch guy. That's the only
My wrists are too small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could be.
That's the only, like, accessory thing that I'll spend money on. Like, I got, like... more watches than I should have for some reason, but
really,
yeah,
watches are cool though. Yeah, they're
most of the time I don't even wear them anymore because I don't need to know what time it is.
But it's also just a thing. Like I don't know. It's like symbolic almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if I'm gonna spend money on something I'm gonna carry around, it's one of these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Or conceal.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Guns are cool.
Oh, yeah, guns are way cool.
I like, too, that we're getting... I don't know. Like, it's always been pretty normal. Like, a lot of people are comfortable and uncomfortable with guns, but, like, I like that we're getting to the point where it's more readily available and more, like...
Yeah.
Like, discussions are happening more often.
I agree, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Utah is... one of the most lenient states on knives and guns. I mean, most states have knife laws. We don't have any. Do you know that? Like, we really don't have any knife. There's no knife that you can't carry.
Really?
The only knife laws we have are you can't, like, I think it's that you can't conceal carry a knife if you're a felon, if you're dishonorably discharged, or I can't remember. There's one more, but I can't remember what it was.
That's weird because I got questioned when I was like 19 or something like that. So I got pulled over for speeding, and I had a K-bar knife stuck like in between the seats of the passenger, so you could see the handle. And I got questioned by the cop on it pretty heavily, like why I had it, what I was doing with it, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, it's just a knife.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why do you have it? I'm like,
does it matter?
I was like, well, what do you mean? Why do I have it? It's a knife. Like I can't have a
cut
knife.
things with it.
Like he questioned me more than I thought. Like
that's weird. I've never.
And I was like,
that is weird. I've never been questioned about it.
Yeah. Toilet seat or mini fridge? Yeah, no kidding. You're gonna put this kid in the basement as well? I would. He looks sweet. Oh, you guys are in some fucking.
What the fuck? We got some interesting characters up in here.
Yeah, man, it's fucking Mixer for you. The Mixer boys are weird.
Yeah.
It's always the dudes from Mixer too when there's girls on who come in here and like, show us your boobs.
Oh god.
I'm like, oh, bro.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You poor bastard having to deal with all them.
Oh yeah, I always tell everyone they come on, I'm like, hey,
just be prepared.
it's the internet.
Yep.
I felt bad because yesterday was Friday, yeah. There was two girls who came on who are doing their own podcast. It's that little sticker. They do a dog podcast. It was kind of fun just talking with them or whatever.
Yeah.
And like halfway through the show, it just started. It was like someone's like, yo, show us your feet. And then it derailed from there.
Did they even like respond or like?
No, we didn't really respond, but they read one of them, and I'm like, you acknowledged it. You're opening the floodgates. Like,
yeah, you don't even want to
no
acknowledge its existence. But...
No, when it's just like stuff like this, I'm down to.
I mean, we're both dudes. So
yeah, I'm down to hear the trolls. But
yeah,
like,
for real.
I felt bad too. One night there was one of my friend's wives came on, and she was wearing a beanie, and the whole entire chat, the whole entire time, they were convinced that she was bald. They were trying to get her to take her beanie off, like just all this like harassing shit.
Oh,
and,
man.
Like the whole time, I could just tell because she would like look at me, but then look at chat, and then kind of like. And then look back at me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
You can't control them.
Yeah.
They're called shop.
Bro, I am the top shelf.
Oh man, how did you get that name?
I remember we had a conversation like really early on. Like, well, what should we call ourselves? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, there was like alcohol, and I'm like, what about like Top Shelf Cast or something like that?
Yeah.
And then it just ended up being Top Shelfers. And,
does he ever come on anymore?
he hasn't been on for a while.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you still do Top Shelfers?
Yeah.
Podcast?
Yeah.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, just by myself.
Oh, damn.
And just I don't do it unless there's guests. Like I won't
Okay.
sit in front of the camera and talk by myself because I don't know what I would say.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't
know.
Yeah.
But you guys dating? You should kiss each other.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That was in the past.
Yeah, we moved on to better things.
No, yeah, he. It's not like he said that he's done, but he doesn't really come on much anymore. And yeah, I still do Top Shelfers though. It's fun. It's a good time. It's fun to meet new people. Fill his beard, please.
Dude, this guy's a trip. But he followed us, so
yeah.
I mean, whatever, man.
I like badges, dude.
Yeah, badges.
Why are you asking him to fill? Why don't you just show up?
Yeah.
Like, you can fill his beard, bro. They call it the weather report. You can catch these inches, too.
Oh, man.
But yeah, podcasting's a trip.
Yeah, it's cool, though. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I
I've always
enjoy
wanted
it.
to do it.
It's cool, too, just to, like, I don't know. I like even if there wasn't any of this, like, just the fact like conversing with people in like a manner that's, you know, just to talk.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because I don't think it happens that much anymore.
No. And if people are talking just to talk, it's some dumb shit like,
Yeah.
So what's the weather? How's the weather?
Oh, I fucking hate
idle chat. Yeah, me too.
Just chatting to chat. I'd rather just sit in silence.
Yeah, a lot of people think I like, you know, that a lot of people that like know me, they'll think I'm shy. They'll be like, "Are you shy?" I'm like, "No, I'm not shy at all. Like, I'll talk. You'll talk my ass off if I have something to say.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna just talk just to talk.
Right.
Because I don't get that awkward silence. I don't get that, you know."
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I can acknowledge it when, you know, other people are
quiet, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like, usually someone would say something right now, but that's about the end of it. But
awkward silence really doesn't bother me either, unless it's like, I don't know. I guess if it's on here, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I could see that if you're just like,
because like people are like here to listen to people talk,
and we're just sitting here like.
But that's more like I don't feel awkward like personally. I just feel like, oh, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn, dog, you went from touch his beard to stab me? God damn. How are you supposed to come touch my beard, badger boy?
Badger
Jeez.
bitch.
I love bringing up heavy topics and casual talk to kind of way to break the silence.
Who is this guy? I remember him from last
Salty
time.
Frank?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's just like he's been watching and involved in everything and actually became a really good friend of mine just from Twitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he lives in the good old North Carolina.
Damn.
Yeah. Salty's
That's
the boy.
It's quite a distance.
Yeah.
How did he find you?
Just on Twitch?
Really? I've never actually used Twitch. Like, I've never been on Twitch to watch Twitch.
Is the
stream.
keyboard up there? I don't remember where I put it. It's right here. It's kind of cool because, like, there's the cursor. So if you just go to Twitch.tv. No, not ours, personally. You go browse, right?
Right.
So let's go recommended, but viewers. So these are the most popular things that are getting streamed right now. So there's 225,000 people watching that game.
That's the most popular one right now?
Yeah.
I didn't know Escape from Tarkov was that big. I suck at it. I've always wanted to get into it, but I suck.
Like Grand Theft Auto, just chatting. Just chatting's where you get all the stigma of fucking Twitch, like all the, you know, kind of gross side of Twitch with
Like what?
Girls doing stuff for money.
Oh, okay.
Over sexualizing sometimes.
I see what you're saying.
Guys being gross, like. But I think I don't remember where, like, I mean, we're there for the plot, you know.
Yeah.
We're there for the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, like, you could just scroll through and be like, oh,
Just click a
this
random.
fucking dude kind of looks like me. I could tune in and watch.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of how Twitch works, and I think that's how Salty found us. Is we were in a category that he happened to be scanning and clicked in and has decided to stay.
Okay.
But yeah,
Fuck.
IRL is kind of a
I was gonna say, what's the?
in real life.
No, I know, but
Oh, what's what?
oh, never mind. Keep going. I thought you were like referring to that as like a category or something.
Oh no, sorry.
I was like, what the hell?
But yeah, it's just pretty much people hanging out and talking. It just sucks because it's so flooded now. Everyone thinks that they can go and
Oversaturated.
yeah. Which is good and bad, I guess, because more people are willing to watch stuff like this.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because there's people down here who are creating better content than the people up top. They just haven't had the opportunity.
It's true. It's like with YouTube. Like, there's some of my favorite YouTube creators that like don't have like hardly any subscribers.
Right.
But the ones at the top, they're like, "What's up, YouTube?" I hate that
dude.
shit. I can't stand that. That
It's
fake, annoying, loud, like
over the top.
over the top. Yeah.
No, I don't know what it is, but I just don't personally feel whatever. I don't feel like I don't know if it's just they don't make content for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. There's a lot of big YouTubers where I'm just like,
Yeah, no, I can't watch that. If I'm gonna watch YouTube, I'm gonna be looking for something specifically.
yeah.
Like I went down a crazy rabbit hole. You've gone into the whole Frazzle Gate, like
Frazzlegate.
thing with John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and like that.
Mm.
Oh, it's a wild one.
Well, if you want to get into it, that'd be a good closing topic.
Oh, dude, we'd be here all night.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We can say that.
Well,
Is that like similar to Pizzagate?
It's yeah.
In that
it's
same
it's
world?
in the same
Okay.
And there's a it's wild. We can talk about that next time. That'll be a good half hour to 2 hour long discussion for sure. There's a lot to get into.
I'll have to. We can do that next time because then that
Yeah.
gives me time to do a little bit more research, so I'm not going in.
Yeah, I'll do a bit more too. There's some links I'll show you and whatnot, dude. So
Man, we're starting to really get shown some realities that are.
oh yeah, there's 2 videos in this rabbit hole that like I don't even know if you want to watch, but
Oof.
it's not you don't see anything. It's just audio, but like if it's real, dude. Yeah, crazy shit. Because you hear this guy's voice, and he sounds just like John Podesta,
Okay.
Hillary Clinton's. Is he her advisor?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll look into that more too. But and then you'll hear another clip of John Podesta talking, and it's like the exact same voice. Like it could be someone else, but it's
Right.
it's weird. There's a lot of weird shit with that for sure. But yeah, we can
Just some of the stuff that he. Okay.
yeah, we can get into that one next time.
I'm excited.
And the whole red face on the sweater, the bloody red face that like Ellen wears and Jay-Z and like, it's wild. Yeah, we'll get into it next time because yeah, there's a whole bunch to that one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are there? Okay. Well, I guess we can kind of talk about conspiracies though, because
Yeah.
is there stuff that you are 100% like
Certain like
the conspiracy theory is the reality?
I don't think 9/11 was as it seems.
No.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know what happened exactly. Like, I'm not being like it's an inside job so we can get some oil. Like,
Right.
I don't know, but I definitely think there's weird shit going on there.
Mhm.
You know, yeah. Show knife. It's kind of dark in here, but
Kind of looks cool with the.
it kind of does. Yeah.
Can we be mods? Maybe. I'll have to figure out how to make you a mod on Mixer. But just because I like you, Badger.
Yeah. You got to be good though, Badger.
Yeah.
You know?
You gotta look at what's best for us.
Yeah.
And my mom's big. Never mind.
Can we get mod?
If you're here next week for Dax Cast, we'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll consider it. Are you guys like together or something? Are you guys? Because you say we, and they came in around the same time.
Yeah. It's conspiracy in its own.
I know.
Fuck. I'm trying to think of other popular conspiracies. My brain's kind of getting.
Same. I mean, you've been here all day.
Yeah. It's been a good day though.
Dope.
Let's see.
I'm trying to think.
Ooh, if I could spell. I do want to show you something that I think's related to this.
Yeah.
To the Pizzagate and the Frazzlegate. Is that what you said it's called?
Oh, it's like Frazzle. I'll find it.
I didn't. Okay, and you're gonna be like, "Why the fuck are we looking at this?" But I think there's more to a lot of stuff. I hope it's still on here. Is this the right? Yeah, 139 million. Let me see if this is still. Yes, this is Justin Bieber's Instagram. Now,
Right.
let me see if it's still posted or not. I've never been on here, but I saw stuff about this. Why am I not surprised? He has just loads of posts.
What is it? Why does he have double of everything?
I don't know. So he posted. Have you heard that pop song that he made, the Yummy Yummy song or whatever?
Okay, my roommate was saying something about that song and like the weird video and like there's some conspiracy behind it.
I haven't seen the video, but when he posted it on here, on Instagram, it was in like, it said Yummy Yummy, but it was in like the text were pizzas. And then for the next like 20 or 30 posts, he was using specific hashtags and posting pictures of babies.
What the hell?
And it was this big, huge thing that, like, people think that he was trying to point out, like, some shady-ass shit that was going on. And he did it in a way that isn't going to get him, I don't know, caught? Or...
involved or...
yeah.
Directly linked or...
Let me just Google this. It was kind of crazy. Bieber pizza.
He has been affiliated with that Pizzagate. People link him with the Pizzagate thing all the time.
Right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to...
Huh. We'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find it. And
Maybe this is it. Yeah. I'll look into it more and try to find some posts. But I saw them talking about it the other day, and I saw like all the posts and shit, and like some of it was pretty like... it was very hidden in plain sight type of...
yeah, and that's the thing with this whole one I've been looking into. I don't know. Like, I'm usually like, I'm sure conspiracy, whatever. But some of these, I don't know, man. Especially after seeing those videos and hearing Podesta's voice. And they had linked it somehow to Justin Bieber too, and like Ellen and a bunch of people. And they were saying that like that's why Chester Bennington died.
Yeah.
And Chris Cornell, because they were about to out it.
And
there's one other too.
the dude who had that traveling TV show. Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain, yeah.
They were all...
and Avicii, too.
Yeah, they were all involved in helping, like, children who've been
and they were
abused.
going to out it, and then they got... yeah.
Dude, if it's real...
yeah, that's fucking wild if that's real.
Have you ever looked into that weird, like, party thing that they host? Like, the political, like...
Are you talking about fucking, In the Woods?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, I've seen the video. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
What's it, the cremation of care, or, what's it with the owl statue?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
Dude, like...
I mean...
Listen, if I were to believe that there were some other type of powers ruling the world that we don't understand, it's these people do know for a fact, and that's how they're being, like, how they're getting it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if they're... I don't know if I believe that there's, like, a group called the Illuminati.
Right.
But I think there might be a group... maybe it's not even a organized group. It's just a group of the elitist, of the elite, who are together, who want to stay rich, and they want to do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
And if I don't know. I think that's more like a realistic Illuminati situation.
Right. Well, because, I mean, the Epstein thing was kind of the start of this, right? Like...
oh, yeah. That was... I mean, no, I don't know anyone who thinks he killed himself.
Oh,
No one.
No one.
I mean, he 100% was murdered.
But we've tried to meme it into, like, reality, but no one's, like, really...
thinking about it.
Like, Netflix did a documentary on it, right? But what are we, like, as a citizen or as a civilian or whatever you want to call it, What are we supposed to do?
I mean, he had co-conspirators. Like, all the victims who are, here to tell it, they're like, he had people with him.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The Epstein thing, yeah, that's... Unless you're in the middle of the hole and look up into the sky. Oh, you guys are talking about the donut Earth joke thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not flat, it's a donut.
And it's 10, should we call it?
Yeah, let's go ahead
Dope.
and call it. So you want to plan for same time next Saturday?
Yeah.
7?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, guys. You heard it here first.
Peace out.
Take
It's been
care.
a good